Sewell. Kemba, beautiful play by Kemba. And not a bad pass to Bartram. And now Woodruff, and Bartram free! Good save by Bonetti! And Chelsea wide open. Birchenall. Good save! 6 minutes gone and two tremendous saves already for these goalkeepers. Bert Head was saying last week after that magnificent game that John Jackson had, this is Birchenall, that he wouldn't swap Jackson even for Gordon Banks. Being told to go back 10 yards. And Kemba is within 10 yards. And a goal! No, he stopped it. In fact, he's disallowed that one by Hollins, presumably because Kemba was within 10 yards of the ball. And Kemba might well be having his name taken, indeed he is. And there is this new ruling that states that players must stand 10 yards off the ball. So Kemba's name goes in the book. Chelsea have another go. And this time Hollins doesn't get through. In the Scottish League, where he scored 14 goals for them last season, their second top scorer. Free kick then to Crystal Palace. And McCormick, the big number 5, has gone for this one. A flick by Woodruff. McCormick going in just over. Well, he sneaked up, and I don't think Chelsea were really aware that he was there. They are now, though. Chelsea's Player of the Year, judging by their supporters' votes. And Osgood going for this one, losing it. Webb with a header! Birchenall up there! Osgood! Webb! Birchenall just over! What an incredible sequence in front of that Crystal Palace goal! They couldn't have known whether they were coming or going. Finally, over the top. See, the big number 5 has gone into the penalty area. Looking for Birchenall to flick this one on. Hoy missing his kick the first time, but put under pressure that he can only put it to Hollins. Dempsey still up there. Osgood! Great save! That was a great save! Tony Taylor to Steve Kemba. Bartram flicking that one on well. Woodruff, can he get a shot in? Hoy! Great goal by Roger Hoy! What a magnificent goal! McCormick. Hollins now. Birchenall putting it on for Osgood. Headed away by Hoy. Osgood surely disgusted. He must have felt that that was the equaliser, but Hoy rising beautifully to nod it away for a corner off the line. Hudson with the corner. Birchenall and Osgood both getting to it. A good punch away there. Hollins pumping it back. Just over. Magnificent goalkeeping by Jackson. The free kick instead to Chelsea. And Sewell still carrying his boot. Linesman's flag up. Dempsey pushes it on. Fisted away. Webb. Houseman. Great save. Hudson going in. And away with his one good boot. But the pressure's not off them yet. McCready to pump it back. In goes Osgood. A goal by Osgood. That's the equaliser. Peter Osgood, and at last John Sewell, in abject misery no doubt, could put his boot on. Hudson. Harris. And there's Webb still there. Going to take some shaking off this ball. Birchinell going in! What a tremendous game this is turning out to be. Crystal Palace really being stretched to the full at the back. Chelsea hammering them with everything. Webb and Birchinell at the far side of that penalty area. Hollins with the free kick. Webb going in. Now McCready. Great save! Well, McCready must have felt that that one was just going to creep in by the post. Hoadley. To Woodruff, the final whistle. And a tremendous battle that's worth a point to Crystal Palace. Number 7 there, Peter Osgood, the man who scored the equaliser for Chelsea in the second half, with Roger Hoy, the number 4 for Crystal Palace, having put his side ahead in the first half. So the final score here at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea 1, Crystal Palace 1.
A month later, Giles was on the spot again, this time against Chelsea.
Jones again getting it. And a great appeal for a penalty. It is one. It is a penalty for Leeds. Redknapp knocked down completely. And all those dark-shirted and dark-shorted Chelsea fans don't believe it at all. Giles, number 10, versus Bonetti, and it's a goal. Bonetti bought the wrong one. It's Giles. Lorimer. Don't worry about that
Charlie Cook. George right back there to try and stop him. He gets it across, just over there by Osgood. Two players with tremendous flair, Osgood and Cook, very nearly creating a goal for Chelsea with only a minute gone. Bradford, the Baldwin, Hollins, Birchinell laying it off for Baldwin, but so many red shirts are there. Here's Cook. Baldwin playing it off beautifully. Cook, Osgood in the middle, and Birchinell too. Going in, great goal by Birchinell. Wonderful goal for Chelsea. 11 minutes gone. So Chelsea ahead, a goal beautifully conceived and superbly executed. This man, Birchinell, scoring then his third goal of the season. 5 red shirts grouped at the far post. Radford making a sprint towards the near one. Samuels to put it across again. And there's Robertson just over. Well, both sides may have had trouble scoring goals this season, but certainly there's been no lack of enterprise in the opening period of this game at Stamford Bridge. Now McClintock. Graham to flick it on, and George almost getting it in and almost putting it in by McCready. But more pressure now soon to bear down on Webster, because it's Cook for Chelsea. McNabb with it. Finding Houseman. And now looking for the jumping ability of Birchinell. Birchinell again to Cook with time. Magnificent save by Webster. What a wonderful save, and certainly Cook had plenty of time. If anything, perhaps too much time. He looked for his spot, and Webster saved brilliantly. McClintock finding Court, but Court put under pressure by Birchinell, so it's Hinton. They're again feeling for offside, and no, says the referee. Osgood, and another good piece of work by Webster. McCready, Birchinell flicking it on into the path of Houseman. Story closing in on him. Oh, bad luck by Houseman against the post. A really determined run by Houseman that really deserved something a little better than that. Dempsey still up there, the big number 5, you can see. Hasn't had time to go back, in fact. Baldwin at the near post. Houseman with a corner, low. Samuels missing his kick. Dempsey trying to get in. Houseman again. Pumping it through. Good save. Virginal. Number 2. His second goal of the game. And Chelsea 2 ahead. Dave Sexton in the suit. He's had his trouble with injuries, but 2 up now. He must be well pleased. And plenty of red shirts in that penalty area, marked by blue, but plenty to aim for. Bonetti losing it, and getting it beautifully there. Off the feet of George Graham, as Graham was about to try an overhead kick. Tremendous reflexes there by Peter Bonetti. To McClintock. McClintock playing it wide for Samuels. Back to McClintock again, pumping it first time. Graham going for it, getting his head to it, pushed against the post by Bonetti. Tremendous leaping by George Graham, who of course is one of the most dangerous headers of the ball. And Virginal really pushed hard in the back by McClintock. Graham. Samuels trying to get in, McNabb also trying to get in, and finding Robertson. 3 red shirts in the middle. And one of them is McClintock getting up there beautifully. Heading on, a goal by Graham. No, he's disallowed it. The linesman had his flag up. The goal was disallowed for offside. And the linesman was directly in line and had his flag up at once. Collins finding Dempsey. Cook. Collins free on the right. And another corner to Chelsea. Causing McNabb a little bit of pain. And of course, he's only just recovered from a groin injury that kept him out of the match last weekend. Cook to take the corner. Short to Hollins. Now Cook again. Cook! There was definitely a deflection, but it was shot there by Charlie Cook. A cunningly taken corner, and Chelsea now 3 ahead, and that really must put the game beyond the reach of Arsenal now.
Chelsea against Everton, 2 clubs renowned for their skill and flair, 2 of the season's more successful sides. Chelsea at the moment are having a good run, and for this big test against Everton, their team is without Eddie McCreadie at full back, but they are well stocked with defenders and they'll take some breaking down. In attack, Osgood is going well now, Cook too, and both are benefiting, I think, from the work of Ian Hutchinson, a bold young striker who is adding physical power to their assault. Today, though, Chelsea will know just where they're going when they face this Everton side, top of the table and unchanged in the last 13 games. That sort of run without serious injury brings a special understanding, and in their number 5, Brian LeBone, Everton also have perhaps the most consistent defender in the First Division. The game has drawn a happy crowd of 50,000.
Is Mr. Dennis Corbett of Wolverhampton, and it's Everton top of the table to kick off. The last 3 times they've come here, it's finished in a 1-1 draw. So Everton defending that goal to our right in the lighter shirts, in fact in shirts of amber with blue shorts. Chelsea all in blue. Dempsey and Bonetti.
Peter Houseman. In fact, Everton have only won here once since the war. And now they catch Chelsea in good form. Here's LeBeau. Chelsea having won the last 4 games. Houseman streaking down the left. Cook, a nice little 1-2. The ball going to Houseman. Now Cook. He really has found a tremendous appetite for the game, Cook. Here he is again, finding Hollins. Good controlled play by Chelsea. And always somebody to back up. This time Harris. Cook. A tremendous run into the penalty area by Webb. Oh, sheer artistry by Cook. Harris. And that must be Gordon West. Joe Royle, neatly to ball. And Dempsey getting in first. Royle again, this time playing it for Morrissey. Morrissey beating Webb. And now he's got Hollins to contend with. Doing rather well against Hollins. Very good play by Morrissey. A good punch away by Bonetti. Coming through to Hurst. Jimmy Husband to Kendall to turn it back first time, and a goal kick. A good punch to safety by Peter Bonetti, who probably is playing now as well as at any time in his long and great career here at Stamford Bridge. Kendall to ball. Kendall again. And Husband has gone roaring in, getting his head to it. A great goal for Everton by Jimmy Husband. 5.5 minutes gone. Tremendous piece of running inside there by Husband. Gordon West giving some instruction to defenders waiting for this corner kick. Here comes the corner. And West slipping. Now Houseman. Oh, kicked away by Brown. Dempsey's there. Oh, it's good! Not very happy about it is West. But in fact, he failed just to get to that first one, leaving that situation just fractionally open for Chelsea. And Peter Osgood gets the equaliser with 11 minutes gone. Boyle is on the goal line. Headed away by Webb. And now Cook having quite a wrestle with Harvey, getting clear. Only Hutchinson up for him, though. Here's Hutchinson. Now he's faced by LeBeau. But Cook is going to do a good piece of running by Cook. Into Hutchinson. Good shot by Hutchinson. Great play by Chelsea. Those two men taking on almost the entire Everton defence. Very well indeed. Hollins. Osgood. A good flick on from Cook. Get in. Cook. Cook again. Just over. He really pounced on that, Charlie Cook. Some really tremendous stuff from Everton this afternoon, showing the sort of form that obviously has put them at the top of the first division. But now, 3 Chelsea players against 2 from Everton. Charlie Cook into Osgood. Great save by West. And everybody expecting the whistle to have gone, but the referee is saying play on. Cook. Osgood was really right through there. Cook bashed in the back by Ball. Certainly in the World Cup next year. Here he is again, Alan Ball. This time to Tommy Wright. Kendall, Wright. Not a bad cross by Wright off the top of the crossbar. From Tommy Wright. Well, he's all
always been prepared to adventure as Tommy Wright, and of course he was formerly a forward. It was a really good cross. Royal to Ball to Husband. Floater now, ball going in, and Kendall also. Royal, Kendall, and now Morrissey. The float one towards Ball, up goes Hinton, and Kendall's shot is saved, though there had been an infringement. And in fact, there goes the whistle with John Hollins clutching the ball, with Jimmy Husband having put Everton ahead, and Peter Osgood having equalised for Chelsea. So that's how we start the second half, 1-1. With Everton, I suppose, in that first half looking the better prospects, though Chelsea with one or two brilliant flashes, just about, I suppose, deserving that 1-1 half-time score. Harris and Hutchinson and Osgood. Houseman, can he turn it back? And he can't. Thought of the odds on it going for a corner, but in fact off Tommy Wright. Quite a good little breaking, jinking run there by Osgood. A throw to Chelsea then. And Osgood. Osgood! Brilliant run by Osgood! Can he do it? Osgood! He can't. Harris. And Houseman a little too dainty. Alan Hudson. Oh, a little flick there with the outside of the boot, not quite coming off. Cook taking it quickly. Chelsea trying to do everything at pace to try and rattle Everton. Hudson. A little swinger, just over. What a shot by Hudson. That really was a tremendous banana shot by Alan Hudson, swerving round the defence, almost catching out West. Hurst finding Wright. Royal, a little thick off there for Kendall, and Bonetti spreading himself very well. Dempsey to clear. Morrissey beaten by Webb. Bonetti really spread himself well there as Kendall was through. Osgood. Wright is down. Webb is out. West is out. And again, West was charging out of his goal. It was so easily sidestepped by Peter Osgood. Now Hutchinson slipping right. Osgood! Good save! And a corner! Well, after one bad mistake by Gordon West, that really was a good save from Osgood. It's the Chelsea number 2, David Webb. Husband, beaten by Webb. Finding Houseman. To Osgood. Hinton. Plenty of Everton men coming back. Houseman. Challenged very strongly from the back by LeBeau. Now he can get this across. Osgood has gone streaking in. And Kendall, so very cool. Really deserves a bit of applause for that. That was a cool head by Howard Kendall here. Threat from the long throw from Hutchinson. No, there isn't, because the final whistle has gone before he can take it. And so the final score is what it's been for the last 3 years here, 1-1. Jimmy Husband having put Everton ahead. And Peter Osgood, who had a fine game for Chelsea, making it 1-1, both in the first half. So the final score at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea 1, Everton 1. Cook. Houseman. Hollins going outside him on his left. Charlton is across covering Hollins. This is Hollins. And a fine attempt, and it's a goal. It's put in by Hutchinson. Hutchinson puts Chelsea one in front. Houseman. Hudson just inside him. Hudson wins the tackle. Hollins. And into the net by Hutchinson. It was Cook's shot originally. Charlie Cook's shot and slid over the line by Hutchinson.
Webb now making it 5. Webb going for it. Dempsey right on the line. Osgood coming across. And in fact, there was a man behind him who got the header. David Webb again. Owen presenting it to Osgood. Good running by Osgood. Side foot shot. In comes Hutchinson. Number 3. Now Young. This is better from Young. Summerby. And a goal by Mike Summerby.
Stamford Bridge. The determination of soccer clubs to stamp out bad behaviour and hooliganism was evident at the Chelsea ground when the pensioners met Birmingham in the 3rd round of the FA Cup. A good game of football is what most spectators want. That's what they got. Birmingham, playing left to right, faced a tough battle against their first division opponents, and Chelsea started right away by shaping up in the manner fitting to a club of their lofty position. But Birmingham were not in the least overawed by the opposition and were determined to have a go. Chelsea cleared and Osgood put across a fine centre to start a machine gun series of attacks. Birmingham breathed again and mounted a counter-attack. It developed well and held plenty of menace. But Bonetti put a stop to the raid and the Chelsea squad came away with Hudson putting a beauty across for Osgood to head home. Spurred on by the cheers of their supporters, Chelsea zipped into top gear and hammered mercilessly at the Birmingham defence. But Birmingham escaped unscathed. At half-time, they were only 1 goal down. Chelsea were determined to increase their lead in the second half. Herriot, in the visitors' goal, was under constant pressure. Birmingham fought gallantly, but Chelsea always seemed to be in possession. Birmingham had to give way under such pressure. They did. Hutchinson made it 2-0. The home crowd were wild with delight, and their team rewarded them with another goal when Hutchinson, in tremendous form, put another one in off the post. Chelsea had deserved their 3-0 win and go on to meet Burnley in the next round.
Leeds, who kick off, but Chelsea must win. They're a bit behind the pace. 6 points behind Leeds, but a point behind the lead. So that is the tight situation. Chelsea in the old dark strip. Mick Jones, who could well play for England on Wednesday. Goodbye. Clark. Control is going to be rather difficult. The pitch is very, very wet all down the middle. A wee bit firmer on the wings. It's certainly not easy. Hollins with a throw for Chelsea. Hollins again, not using the long throw to Hutchinson. Giles finding Bremner, the old tendon good work, right at the stick. And a tackling back by Hudson. Brilliant youngster. McCready. Hollins to Hudson. To Hutchinson. Hollins! Wonderful move by Chelsea.
Good stuff, that.
And Clark may be moved back if he obstructs. Look at that. And a foul by Osgood on the goalkeeper, on Sprague. Osgood was pushing Sprague long before the ball arrived. Jones and now Osgood. A great tackle by Charlton. Came in like a brick wall and he's hurt. He got an elbow in the face. Now Madeley. Jones has come back onto the pitch. He's all right. Lorimer number 7. Giles. Oh, he's hit the post. Oh, and no wonder he looked up there. No score. And another one of these gigantic throws. Now watch Clark come and stand right by the line. He's quite entitled to do this, providing he does not jump up or wave his arms about. Hutchinson still getting them through. Houseman. Great goalkeeping that by Sprague. Did you notice he was going down before the ball was shot almost from Houseman? Sprague committed himself, but it paid off. Hunter to Bremner. Greeny going up the right and Jones down the middle. Oh, and a lucky boy. It's the goal. Scored by Clark.
Well, he squeezed that one in, Johnny.
Well, that was typical Alan Clark. I mean, if you notice when he's a long way from the goals when Mick Jones is having the shot, and Bonetti, or Hughes was in goal that day, they had to get away from him. He's onto it like a shot. And from a very narrow angle, he could squeeze it home.
And in fact, he'd been defending, actually, from that last Chelsea attack as well.
He's back from a corner kick. But even from where Alan Clark is now, he's a long way from the ball.
Yes,
he keeps running like all good striker. He's optimistic, and the goalkeeper's committed himself a little bit too early. But look at the angle that Alan Clark has knocked it home from.
Yeah. Sniffer.
Yeah, he was a long way from the ball. He was very, very quick, Alan Clark.
Yeah. It's interesting, Bobby, that Johnny was saying that Hutchinson started the long throw.
Yeah. I mean, it was so unusual. It was unknown, really, for anybody to throw the ball so far. And suddenly, from around about the 18-yard area, you have balls that were landing underneath the crossbar, you know. It was a real danger. And he started a trend, really. I think most clubs started to look for people who actually had a long throw. There's a lot of lads can do it now. But it was really unique at the time.
Giles back to Hunter. Jones to Giles. Cooper. Giles at Jones. Clark. No foul, no goal. The whistle had gone. Alan Clark got a rap below the right knee. And Clark has gone off. Clark has been carried off. He's going into the tunnel now. That's Alan Clark with the two trainers, Les Cocker on the left, of Leeds, Harry Medhurst on the right. So far, Mick Bates, the substitute, has not stripped off his tracksuit. Hudson, number 8 for Chelsea. Houseman. Chelsea moving it around so well.
He was tenacious there, wasn't he?
Ah,
Johnny Hollins?
He worked hard for that. I don't think in his wildest dreams he thought when he started the move that he would actually get inside the box.
Taking over the Clark role of standing right by the touchline in front of him. Webb. That's 2-1.
Well, he was on hand to get that one, Peter Osgood, John, wasn't he?
Yeah, we got from the long throw in, and Ian Hutchinson could throw it a long way. And Osgood was an extremely good player. Got a flick on, and he wouldn't miss them from that distance. Very good, a lot of good players on the Chelsea side. This was one of the men. He started the long throw as we know today. And the only thing is that was a part of Chelsea's armour in those days. And I think later on, then it became a bit of a fetish with most clubs where they used the long throw as just a means, a real means. Whereas they didn't do it all the time, Chelsea.
Free kick to Chelsea. Significant that the Leeds trainer, Des Cocker, still hasn't come out of the dressing room, having taken Clark there. As the whistle goes for half-time, Chelsea lead 2-1. Clark missing from the Leeds lineup. And with due respect to Mick Bates, who's on the substitute, that's a bitter blow for the league champions. Bremner, who's taken on a complete attacking role. Now he's up front as a striker alongside Jones. But they'll miss him at the back. Now his houseman, and up comes Webb into this huge yawning gap on the right. Osgood, Hutchinson, and a corner. And this Leeds United defence, for the first time for a long, long time, is looking terribly rickety. Bremner. Chelsea cover at the back is very strong. Dempsey and Harris playing splendidly. Bremner, number 4. Number 10, Giles. Bates, Cooper, a great goal by Cooper.
Well, good to get one back so early, Johnny, after that scare just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, it was very unusual. Terry Cooper coming onto his right foot. I don't think he could believe it himself. He's well pleased with himself.
Yeah.
Terry didn't hit many with his right foot, but he hit that perfectly. It was the right time to do it, just after half-time to get back into the game.
Yeah, it was a really good layback there. Forget who laid it back. You knocked it into the box, somebody laid it back.
Yeah, I think it was Mick Jones.
There you see it now.
Yeah. I think Mick makes a run across the bar. I think it's Mick Jones anyway.
This is a great bit of skill here. See what's that?
Oh, it's Mick Bates.
Mick Bates, yeah, look at that. He'd no much choice. His mind was made up then by the player, wasn't he?
He had to hit it with his right foot.
2 goals each. So 47 minutes, and it's level pegging all over again. Maitland to Charlie Giles. Maitland to Lorimer. Bates has come on as substitute, gone into the middle 3 with Bremner going up as a striker. Bremner, it looked like hands is a penalty. Yes, a penalty for Leeds. Oh, Dempsey, I think, almost certainly guided that with his arm.
Number 5, Dempsey, is the man to look for. Do you think he intentionally handled the ball with his hand or his arm? Does he move to play the ball?
He said it was on his tummy, but it was his arm, wasn't it? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right on the elbow.
Yeah. You can tell immediately.
Talk us over the penalty, Johnny. Which way is he going to go?
Yeah, when he goes to the... I don't think he moved very much, actually, but I'd made up my mind to knock it into that corner anyway.
Yeah. And you took all the penalties at that time?
No, I did in those days, yeah.
Didn't miss many either, did you?
No, I missed 7 from 57, Bob, I think.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Whoosh! And a push on straight. Number 5, Dempsey, who gave away the penalty, now giving away a free kick. Sprague had a fine matching goal for Leeds. Minutes left for play. This clash of the second and third in the first division, and it's Leeds United 3-2 in the lead. Oh, and Van Bommel now Lorimer. Great chance for 4-2. Is it? Yes, it's a goal. Put in by Harris. 4-2.
Well, who scored that goal, Bobby?
As Peter Lorimer, I think, wasn't it? Or was it Dempsey that knocked it on the way back?
I don't know whether the ball went into the net, whether it was no goal or not.
I think John Dempsey got the last touch as it was coming off the upright, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I think he thought it had gone over, but maybe it hadn't.
But notice the bravery of Hughes. He comes up, almost stops it. He certainly delays the ball. It looks as if it won't reach the net. Now,
and he runs past it.
Seems to hit the post, hit Dempsey, but certainly Lorimer deserves all the credit for that goal. So
it looks like an goal.
Scoring the fourth.
I don't know.
Free kick to Leeds United. Back it goes to Cooper. Number 10, Giles. Brendan Jones is fine. Once again it's Giles setting up a goal, helped by Bremner. There's Bremner flicking it, and Jones coming on the blind side of Dempsey makes it 5 for Leeds. They're going up to join the attack. Guided for Lorimer. Jones is in the middle. Lorimer running onto that beautifully. For Chelsea. Hutchinson, number 10. Hutchinson, one of the game's exciting new players. McCready. Another exciting new player, Hudson. Up it goes. Hits the right netting. On those occasions when the crowd slow hand claps because they think that it's wasting time. And the whistle goes for the end of this magnificent match. A truly wonderful victory by Leeds United, 5-2, having been 2-1 down. Leeds United proving true champions, led by that true champion, little Billy Bremner.
Curling it back again. There's a header and just past from Kelly. And Samuel's almost there to put the finishing touch. McClintock, Marinello. Good play by Marinello again. McClintock, but losing it to Osgood. Oh, and very good play indeed by Hudson. Beautiful skills under a very, very difficult situation. Osgood, still the booze. Houseman wanting it at the far side. Hollins wanting it on the near side. It's Hollins who gets it. First time. Houseman closing in, and it's there by Hollins. Straight in. Straight in. Hudson, Harris. Flicked on very nicely there by Hutchinson. But Osgood couldn't quite get to it, so now it's... Oh, but Osgood can get to this one. Now here's a test of his skill. Oh, straight at Wilson, and again, good goalkeeping by Wilson. Harris to Houseman. And Story beating him. Oh, tripping over himself, so it's a corner to Chelsea. Just under 10 minutes to go. Hudson with a corner.
And Hutchinson! Hutchinson! Such an accurately placed corner by Hudson, and Hutchinson really got in and made no mistake.
And now Marinello. To McNabb. Simpson. Chelsea men in blue diving for him every time, and now a chance for a counter-attack. Hollins there with Hudson in support, Baldwin and Osgood too. Still Hollins. A nice little pass there for Osgood. And it's there by Baldwin. Baldwin who puts it home. Some beautiful build-up by Hollins, holding on to that ball until he found the right man. Osgood who pushed it on, and Baldwin who pushed it in.
One man who's been hit in another way, but is fit enough for the Chelsea team, is goalkeeper Peter Bonetti, knocked out by a clinker at Carlisle on Wednesday. And back in the side, fullback Eddie McCready. He's been having trouble with a thigh injury. So now they face a West Bromwich Albion team that again shows 18-year-old Len Cantello at number 4 and costly Danny Hegan as substitute. But Chelsea will probably worry more about Jeff Astle at 9, magnificent and menacing in the air. So now we look to referee Tommy Dawes of Norwich to get the game going. The crowd today is 34,000 strong.
So West Bromwich Albion in the white, defending the goal to our left, kick-off. Albion, who certainly have a liking for London, they've already won at West Ham and at Crystal Palace this season, both times by 3-1, and taken a point from Arsenal at Highbury. And of course they will remember that it was here last season in the 6th round of the FA Cup that they beat Chelsea by 2-1. Doug Fraser, number 2. Suggett, the £100,000 man from Sunderland. Played it very nicely to Brown. And there's Hudson playing it back to Bonetti. Peter Bonetti playing his 362nd game for Chelsea, equaling the record for the Stamford Bridge Club. But now it's Astle, followed as he will be for the whole of the afternoon by Webb, and a corner to West Bromwich. Bobby Hope, not the tallest of men, going into the box, in fact going across to take the corner. Tremendous midfield schemer for Albion, taking notice of that number 11 on his shirt. His work is going to be in midfield, but now it's taking this corner for Albion with just under 5 minutes gone. And in goes Astle! Oh, tremendous header by Astle, and an instinctive save there by Bonetti. What tremendous heading power by Jeff Astle. A man who was in dispute with his club for so long, but in the last 12 games for them has scored 9 times. Another corner. Again it's Hope. And again it looked for a long time as though it might be Astle. And finally it's Hinton away to Hope. And another corner. Suggett on the goal line. Astle lurking beyond the far post, which is of course more dangerous for Chelsea. And that should be Benitez. Houseman. And offside. Not happy with it, but the linesman certainly had his flag up for Osgood offside. And Tommy Dawes a quiet word as he passes. And Doug Fraser with the kick for Albion. Again searching out the leaping ability of Astle through to Suggett. Astle again. And this time Hartford is bearing in. And Suggett too. And Hartford! And he's given it against West Bromwich. It's been disallowed. There must have been a foul on Bonetti, and I don't think there could be very much doubt about it before Hartford finally thumped that one in.
Birchinall asking Hudson to come for it, and Hudson does, number 8. Osgood flicking it on for Hudson. Birchinall in the middle, Houseman in support, but that's not a good ball for Houseman to get. Hudson, tenacious young player. Houseman, offside. Cantello, Hartford. Brown to Hope. Good piece of running here by West Bromwich Albion. Brown, just over from Bonetti. Good save by Bonetti. And he may well look in amazement, because he was well placed there. The shot was hard and true. And Bonetti really got up and pushed that one away. Playing his 362nd league game, equaling the Chelsea record set by Ken Armstrong. Here comes the corner. A low one this time. Astle trying to get in with his boot, and another corner. Jeff Astle, he's useful on the ground as well. Going back to Peter Bonetti though, the record was set first by Ken Armstrong, 1945 to 57. Astle again. Hope. And now Hudson. Birchinall breaking on the right. Strong runner. And now Hollins. Trying a little dipper towards the near post, Houseman. And finally picked up by Hartford. Astle, Hartford. Astle again, and even though he's straight out towards the right, it's noticeable that Webb has gone with him. Kay, switching it now to Brown, to Graham Williams. Now Astle at the far side to look for one with his head, and Webb also there with him. And Webb again. Cook, Harris, Birchinall. And Astle giving Webb a fair old push there. Hinton, Suggett to Graham Williams, a man who's won 30 caps for Wales. Tony Brown. Kay to Brown. Beating Cook, finding Hartford. And now 18-year-old Cantello to Bobby Hope. Holding it a shade too long, Hudson getting in. Hartford though, for Albion. Astle playing it back to Williams. Brown has gone unmarked in the penalty area, but cleared this time by Hinton. Cantello towards Astle, who gets in under pressure. Suggett, can he get a shot in? No, he can't. Brown can though. Webb for Chelsea. Hudson. And now McCready. With some 10 minutes or so to go to half time. Hudson finding Houseman. Claims for handball, but Houseman going on. And the handball in fact given, I think, a little late by referee Tommy Dawes. Whether Houseman didn't hear the whistle or not, I don't know. He certainly went on. But a free kick to Albion. Hollins curling it inside neatly to Hudson. Houseman. Obstruction there by Kay on Houseman. Pleading his innocence. Webb to take it.
bullseye on our low camera. But Jeff Astle saving the company a bit of money by saving a bit of damage. A free kick to Chelsea. Or rather, a free kick to Albion. Which Doug Fraser's going to take. Harris straight to Astle. But now McCready for Chelsea. Osgood slipping his man for the first time, Kay. Kay after him. Still Osgood. Playing it nicely to Houseman. He must take a quick shot. Badly wanted a shot there. I think that was being unselfish to the point of folly, because he really had a good chance there, because Coombs was some way from that near post. Good work by Osgood. And Webb shaking off all the attentions of Astle, but the free kick given to Chelsea. It's going to be a throw to Albion. Hudson to Birchinall. McCready. Houseman. And it's gone out. Houseman not really having a very good time of it at all so far this afternoon. There's Hollins and Hope with him. And now Hartford to Suggett. Hartford going on. Hollins missing his kick. To Brown. Astle trying to lay it off. Brown well in there, Webb with him. And David Webb bringing it away for Chelsea. Hook. Houseman, Hudson, good neat play by Chelsea here, and Osgood trying to search out Houseman. Astle to Fraser. Cantello. And now Suggett, watched by Hinton. Webb, who was watched by Astle. Cook on his own. Houseman. Eddie McCready. Hollins to Cook. Taking on Cantello, attacking him as he ought to. And Osgood in! A great goal by Osgood! What a fine header by Osgood! Very good work indeed by Cook that led up to it, and a fine header by Peter Osgood to put Chelsea ahead with 5 minutes to go to half time. And that really, there's the score, putting Chelsea ahead, and that really, I think, was the first time that Cook has had the ball in this match where he's really gone for the opposing defence to attack them with some aggressive running, and he took Cantello well. And Osgood took his send-up beautifully. Suggett now. And Webb putting it away for Harris. Osgood. Cantello. And now Fraser. Brown. And Webb beaten that time. Suggett now. Harris all the way. Astle against the post and back into Benetti's arms. What a tremendous let-off there for Chelsea. Astle, who's caused so much devastation in the air, almost getting that equaliser with a shot along the ground. Hudson now for Chelsea. Houseman. Suddenly the game has perked up as the ball finds Cook. Floating one now towards Houseman, and a corner off the number 4 Cantello. Young Len Cantello, he's only been a professional a year, had his first game in the league side at Highbury 2 or 3 weeks ago. Only 18. And Webb has gone up into this goal mouth. Cook with the corner, a low one, straight to Hope. Suggett. Watched by Hinton. Causing untold damage almost to a press cameraman. Fraser. Pushed in the back by Hudson on Cantello. Fraser a long one. Bonetti versus Astle. This is going to be Bonetti getting it at the second go. Very accurate kick though by Fraser from a long way out. Cantello to Hope, to Talbot, Hartford, quite easily cut out by Harris, challenged though by the leggy Astle. Now it's Cook. McCready. Peter Houseman. Osgood and Birchinall waiting in the middle for one to be floated in. Oh, Birchinall taking it off the foot of Osgood. He wasn't to know, but Osgood was steaming in behind him, ready to whack in number 2. Bobby Hope. Houseman. Certainly you mustn't discount the possibilities of counter-attacks from West Bromwich Albion. They've scored 13 in away games this season. Osgood still onside. Cook, and Coombs reaching high and taking the challenge from Birchinall well. And one of the Albion players needing a bit of treatment from trainer Stuart Williams. Okay, looks pretty shaken. It looks as though he may be going off for the few seconds that remain to half-time, and I've no doubt they'll work very strongly on him in the half-time interval to see then whether or not a substitute's going to come on. As I was saying, Albion have scored 13 goals away from home this season, but only Everton and Leeds in the First Division can equal that. So there's still plenty of firepower to come, you can be sure, from West Bromwich Albion. But now it's Houseman leading it up for Chelsea. And getting a corner. And without the big man John Kay at the back, this is going to weaken Albion just a little bit. David Webb going up for it as well. Chelsea's corner then, right on half-time. Peter Houseman with it. Webb right up in the 6-yard box. And Osgood going in. Cook! Number 2! Charlie Cook! So right on half-time, Chelsea get, I suppose, what could be a killer goal, that second one, which will leave Albion so much to do now. Tremendous shot by Cook. And there goes the whistle for half-time. Tremendous climax then to this first half after a fair bit of raggy play. Charlie Cook, number 7, having whacked in number 2, with the first one having come from number 9, Peter Osgood. So still to come on the big match programme, highlights from 2 other top league games. But here at Stamford Bridge, the half-time score is Chelsea 2, West Bromwich Albion 0. More soccer action for you in just a moment. So Chelsea then kick off the second half, 2 up through Osgood and Cook, his first league goal of the season, although he scored in the League Cup. And Talbot getting into all sorts of trouble there in that penalty area. Fraser getting him out of it. Webb to Macready. Cantello finding Hope, who hasn't cast his usual spells in midfield so far. Bobby Hope. Brown to Hartford. In again to Brown, one for Cantello to try. Talbot. And Askell getting to it, trying to turn it in first time towards Suggett. But Cook now taking it up for Chelsea. Hudson to Cook. I don't think Hudson's going to get to that one. Hollins to Hudson. Can he pull it back? Osgood going in, and Coombs not at all sure of himself with those balls crossing his goal mouth. Took a bit of a knock there as well by the look of it. He really was almost caught there. Coombs. It looks as though he was caught in another sense as well, but that's a couple of times balls have gone screaming across his goal mouth and he really hasn't been able to handle them cleanly at all. Cut out by Macready. Houseman keeping it in. Macready going on ahead of him. Almost getting into an offside position for that matter. Houseman delaying it just a little, but now finding Birchinall. And all the Chelsea players had stopped feeling that ball was going to go out, but it didn't. Houseman. Almost rugby tackled by Brown, but going on to find Osgood. Cantello. Some poor passing now by West Bromwich Albion. Hudson to Cook. Birchinall outside him. Cook. Hollins. And now Harris to Houseman. Birchinall going in, getting his head to it, but impeded, I think, both by Hollins and by Williams. Suggett for Albion to Hope. Cantello. Brown trying one on the turn, straight to Webb. And Webb coolly to Cook. Showing how much Hudson's growing up, prepared to take that ball away from Cook. Houseman running for this one, Talbot with him. Hudson stood up in support. What a player he's going to be, this Hudson, the way he's progressing in this season. And there's a good pass there to Hollins. And a shot into the side netting. Well, he's crept in unnoticed, John Hollins, on the far side there. Brown. To Williams. Brown again. To Suggett. Suggett again with the 1-2. Kay shaking off McCready's challenge, and McCready down. Astle to look for it. Astle getting his head to it for once. And McCready looks in a fair bit of trouble. And certainly any Scots in the crowd will be worried, because they badly need him to be available for that critical World Cup game against Germany in Hamburg on Wednesday. There's been some doubt about him with his injury for some time now. Well, they get a good view as well. Well, McCready all right again, and Cook for Chelsea. Finding Hudson, who really is having a fine second half for Chelsea. A little flick in there, but coming out to Cook. What can he do? Finds Hudson again, driving one in. Good save. And a very good shot from Alan Hudson, which would have just crept inside that near post. Coombs did well to get across there and push it away for this corner. Which Cook is to take. Birchinall playing it out to Houseman, driving one in, hitting our camera as it did so. Hartford. Bad ball from Hartford, straight to Webb. Webb to Houseman. Hudson. Birchinall. Cook free on the right. Hollins. Referee looking at his watch. The two of them, in fact, and there goes the final whistle from referee Tommy Dawes. Charlie Cook having scored their second one for Chelsea, with Peter Osgood getting the first, 2 goals in the first half, which now take Chelsea to only 1 defeat in their last 13 league games. A victory that they really deserved here at Stamford Bridge. The final score here then is Chelsea 2, West Bromwich Albion 0.
Well, perhaps not the most exciting of matches, but a valuable win for Chelsea, 2 points, and to my mind, the man of the match undoubtedly our guest today, David Webb, who gave Jeff Astle so few chances yesterday. With him now, Jimmy Hill.
Well, David, first of all, perhaps you'd explain why you look more as if you've been fighting Henry Cooper than playing West Bromwich Albion. How did that happen, that cut?
Well, actually, there was myself, Alan Hudson and Jeff Astle all challenging for a ball, and unfortunately, as Jeff bumped into Alan, his arm came swinging across and hit me on the head, so it was Alan Hudson that done it with his arm.
18-year-old Alan Hudson, quite a tough young player.
Very, very good player indeed.
I want to talk to you more about him later, but first of all, I want to ask you about the captain for the day, Peter Bonetti, who equalled Ken Armstrong's record, 362 appearances. What do you think about Peter as a keeper?
I think there's not a lot can be said about Peter, just that his performances answer for themselves. You know, you see the games, he's consistent. You know, we all make errors, but he's probably one of the most consistent goalkeepers in the country. You know, you can always rely on him.
What are his particular qualities? I mean, yesterday his reactions to early on to some of those saves seemed to me exceedingly quick.
Well, his agility is, you know, something out of this world. You know, in training he's always first in the cross countries and first in the sprints. Weightlifting is the best, and so you've got no chance with him. You know, you can't beat him in anything.
If you were Sir Alf Ramsey, would you pick him for Mexico?
Most definitely.
Well, our little tribute to Peter today on his 362nd appearance for Chelsea, equaling Ken Armstrong's record. The game took a course of looking easy for Chelsea, but before it was easy for Chelsea, Peter Bonetti had made these saves. Just watch this ball coming over, that's a point-blank header from Jeff Astle, 6 yards, and the ball going like a bullet. He's got his hands up, he's stopped it, and then he's pounced in case it's necessary to complete the save. Really remarkable. Now again, we notice from this shot how he positions himself across the goal. Watch his agility, he just comes into the picture there, onto the right. Now you see the way he's dancing, look at the way his feet are moving, he's perfectly angled, and that's the reason that his reflexes gave him the chance to touch that one over the top. Many another goalkeeper would have been in the wrong position in the goal and consequently not given themselves a chance to have made that save. And finally, the last one, watch this volley. Not the fact that he saves it, but with the speed of that volley from Brown, the ball sticks to his hands as if there's glue on them. A really remarkable performance. Congratulations, Peter, from the big match. Enough of your skipper for yesterday. You must be very satisfied with him. Do you think there's a chance, superstitiously, that you'll keep him for next week?
I'd like to, superstitiously, definitely. You know, it's nice to win 2-0 every week.
Especially at home. You have a job pleasing those home fans at times, David, don't you?
Well, it's very desperate at times at Chelsea because you're so far away from the crowd, and it's hard for them to get into the atmosphere of the game itself. In fact, you know, at times it's, you know, if we're having a bad time, it's hard to realise there is a crowd there.
I had a laugh yesterday because during the game they were saying to me, or not to me, running down Ron Harris at the start, he made a couple of bad passes and he got the stick. Make up your mind which colour you're playing in, Ron. And then they had a go at Peter Houseman before he settled into his game. And then at the end of the game turned around to me and said, say something nice about Chelsea, Jim. It seems it's still part of the fun and games that's gone on for 40 years at Chelsea, that kind of approach to the players. You were in a bit of trouble. There was a goal, or the ball hit the back of the net against you, which was disallowed. Why was that?
Well, I think Peter, someone had a shot or something, and Peter came out and he fell on the ball and had his hands on it, and the fella had a touch with his boot. But then, as Peter got his hands on it again, he had another kick at it, and that's where the referee disallowed it for.
Yeah, most of the people around me again didn't quite know why it was disallowed because it all happened in a
there was a ruck of players there. You know, there was quite a few players about.
Here's the ball coming across now, and Peter gets in, dives on it. Now that's his ball. Now there you can see the forward coming in. Just look at the boot, kicking it out of his hands. There's the boot coming through, and the law of the game says quite clearly, if you kick at a goalkeeper's hands when the ball's in it, it's dangerous play. So that was why West Brom didn't get on top at that particular point of the game, but they were quite dangerous then. Now, some people say that Peter Osgood and Charlie Cook are two kind of extraordinary players to have in the same forward line. Would you agree with that?
Well, I think there's many a team would like to have two players with their ability in their side, you know, because you can never tell with these chaps because they've got so much ability. In fact, also both of them got more ability in their little fingers than I have in my whole body. You know, but you know, they've got certain qualities that any side would like to have.
Well, it was these qualities that brought about both goals yesterday. The first one, an amazing dribble from Charlie, which is very reminiscent of the thing you see him do every week on our opening sequences. Exactly the same kind of run. And it was the first time in the game that he'd actually got into a run and gone at the West Brom defence. Here he is picking up almost the same position. You see, he'll collect it in a moment. There's the ball, and here's Charlie. Now there he goes on exactly the same run down the left-hand side of the field. Watch this little feint to play, just the same as in the opening sequence, and there's the cross. Now Peter Osgood has come in before the centre half to make that beautiful header into the back of the net. Now you as look at the goalkeeper, no chance at all because he beat the centre half to it. You as a centre half, you get centre forwards doing this against you. In fact, Astle did it to create that first chance from the corner. How do you guard against that?
Well, we train at Chelsea against this. Actually, this is why I was kicking myself when Astle outrun me there, because we train even before the game in the gym. We do shoulder to shoulder practice, not to let the fella get in front of you at all. You've got to be shoulder to shoulder. And I could imagine Dave Sexton saying something actually at the time. and Astle got the header.
So the practice to defend helps you also to...
Yes, well, it works both ways, you know.
What about the other goal, the second goal, which was Charlie's first goal since I don't know when. He can't remember when he last scored a league goal, and I think this may bring on doing the world of good for Scotland's game. What about that? How did that come about?
Well, it's Peter Houseman coming up here to take this corner, and Ozzy, big Ozzy, gets up here, gets a little touch onto it. Charlie's there waiting, and he woofs this one right in the roof of the net.
You can just see it on the half volley there.
Right.
As it starts again, you'll see the ball bounce.
Charlie's got a terrific shot, you know, and we keep trying to tell him to shoot more because
whack.
he's fantastic, you know. When he hits him, he really hits him.
Why is it that he doesn't score more goals, do you think?
I think you can get into a way of playing that you get in position to shoot, but your first thought is to beat somebody or to make it an easier chance to score. Whereas things like that, if you kind of make up your mind to hit them first time,
yeah,
you know, it probably is easier to do it that way.
Do you think Charlie's going to be encouraged to have a go now in the future?
Well, I should think so after that goal.
David, just one final point, one final player from the game yesterday, Alan Hudson, impressed me tremendously. What do you think of him as a young prospect?
Oh, he's a fabulous prospect. You know, he's brought unlimited help to the midfield player of our side. You know, he's the type of player that will get it, beat people, run for you, tackle for you, get up and head. He's got a big heart, you know, which you can't say any more for a fella.
That's an awful lot. I don't think I could improve on that, but we have tried to improve on it by showing pictures, his contribution to yesterday's game, which I thought was quite phenomenal, and the confidence that he showed and the control for a boy of that age reminded me a little bit of Johnny Haynes when he first started. We can see him here sliding the ball up. There it is, goes up the right wing, but he knew to let that ball run, and he quickly pings the ball off to Birchinall, which ended with that shot over the top. I was very impressed with the speed at which he lays the ball. He's always got an idea where to pass it. There he's tackled from behind, but watch when the ball comes back to him, how quickly he picks up Peter Osgood coming away from a player. And he supports, he's always leaving himself handy to pick up the pass. There's Charlie Cook, who wins it in the tackle. And there's Hudson again. Watch how quickly he plays it off. Goes on the run. See the acceleration there? And that ball was just fractionally slow. But a little more experience and he'll put those right where they should go. Once again, look at that ball spreading the play out to the far wing. And I like the way he picks up his targets very quickly. He doesn't dwell on the ball. In a very tight game where it's not always easy to find a target, he gets the ball away. There you see him pointing and directing where the ball should go. A challenge to keep it in that area. Now we get a chance to see him in defence. Look at that control. He's back on the edge of his own penalty area, keeps ice cool, little bit of ball skill here with his socks rolled down. Where's he going to play it? No, make the space, and then the ball is hit away to safety. But he's not only a midfield player, a player who can tackle back, do work in his own penalty area, he's also a striker. He can also get up there and score goals. Watch him here as he follows up an attack, having played that ball through. Now you watch the strength of that pass, the weight of it. Look, he spots it, and it's right through there to give Hollins a beautiful chance, which he crashes into the side netting. And finally, he shows he can do it on his own, running up the right wing. When the ball comes back to him, it's a chip which doesn't work. Just watch the strength and accuracy of this shot. It's right on the near post, whack! And only a brilliant save by Coombs keeps it out of the net. A wonderful discovery for London. Well, there's a glowing tribute from both of us, really, to young Alan Hudson, and let's hope he goes on from strength to strength. But, David, you've been very kind to lots of your colleagues at Chelsea. Perhaps you haven't done justice to yourself. I thought you had a great game yesterday in subduing Astle. What type of things do you find difficult when you're playing against him particularly to do?
I think it's the concentration. You have to have a lot of concentration with a player of his ability, and especially his heading power. You've got to match him for everything he does. And if you can do this, then I find that you can eventually come out on top of him.
Yeah. He's in the England party for, or not yet for Mexico, but he was in the last Mexico trip. Do you see him going to Mexico?
I think so. I mean, you know, he's got a lot of ability. I mean, by all accounts, he's had a lot of trouble with contracts and everything. And everybody has to overcome these things.
throw to Houseman. Kindon seems to have turned into trouble. Number 10, Hutchinson. Across to Hollins. Might let fly from this distance. Remember the goal he got against Leeds, and he's done it again. Johnny Hollins, the scorer. And there isn't a better player in the game for popping up and getting a goal when one doesn't seem likely. Webb to take the free kick for Chelsea. Hudson, it's a beautiful one, and Osgood, he scored! And a beautiful effort by Hudson, making it for Osgood. The goalkeeper's hurt. "69 minutes gone, and Osgood has made it 2-0. But it's 2-0 now. The goal scorer, the second goal, Osgood, 2 goals in 3 minutes, and Burnley, from looking as if they were capable of forcing a replay, are now in dire trouble. Number 4, O'Neill. Coates. Back to O'Neill. Kindon. Wilson. Casper. Thompson. It's a goal. Thompson has scored for Burnley. Ten minutes left, and Burnley have got into the game again. 2-1. And a game which looked as if it was going to be a goalless draw. Now blossomed out. We had near misses all along the line in this match, but now we're getting the goals as well. Kindon now moving in the middle. And leaving it for Coates. Corner. And a remarkable sight. Every Chelsea man coming back to guard that corner that Coates won. Every Burnley player coming forward. Osgood. Burnley having to chase back to get some semblance of defence at the moment because they've got everyone up front. There's a good ball boy, the Burnley trainer, George Bray. 3 minutes left for play, and Chelsea lead 2 goals to 1. Coates, Hudson after him. Coates again on the ball to Thompson. It's the equaliser! Tremendous goal by Burnley, made by Coates. 2.5 minutes from the end.
Oh, and a good job there by Taylor, setting Queen away. Taylor's got into the middle. This is aimed towards him, and Hudson, of all people, right back. Tremendous play by Hudson to Hollins. And now to Osgood. Oh, he's found Houseman, and he very nearly found the unmarked ball, but it is Osgood again. Handball claimed Chelsea against McCormick. And certainly that was a little jig by Osgood that must have pleased or possibly even impressed Sir Alf Ramsey in the front row there. It just needed Osgood to lift it a little more. Finally, here's the corner. Osgood up for it with his head, and it's there! Osgood! A goal that I think the Crystal Palace defence will kick themselves for not stopping. But it's Osgood's 21st goal of the season, and it's Chelsea's very important first in this cup tie here. Hudson. A really strong tackle there by Payne. Loughlin, Hine playing it off for Loughlin. And the ball falling nicely for Hine. And there's Hoy! Oh, a great goal! Roger Hoy! Oh, what a goal! The whistle gone for a free kick to Chelsea. It'll be Johnny Hollins to take it. Dempsey well up again. Complaining that Hoy isn't 10 yards away. That signal was clear enough, but get on with it, says the referee. So Hollins planting it high again. Dempsey getting under it, and it's there! John Dempsey! That's twice Crystal Palace have been caught out by high balls coming into their area. Barely in the corner quadrant, that kick. Hudson. And another corner. Hudson to take it again. Dempsey on the goal line. And Hoy to get it away. McCready to Hollins. And now to Webb. And Houseman! Peter Houseman. And now it's Hutchinson. Hudson, and a corner to Chelsea. So Crystal Palace under a good deal of pressure now. They have been for long periods, and now there's 3-1 down and not too much time left. Hoy. Good run by Hollins. And another corner. And it's Peter Houseman to take it. And it's there by Hutchinson. Ian Hutchinson. They are not happy at Palace, but Hutchinson is, and that makes it 4-1. Young Ian Gillard didn't quite know whether to come or to stay. Oh, look at this good positioning here by Webb for Chelsea. And a nice little pass there for Hollins. And two men are waiting in the middle. There's a deflection there! And a good goal there by Webb! And what a fine goal it was! That was the start that Chelsea wanted. And only 6.5 minutes gone. David Webb puts them ahead. Now Bridges. Marsh waiting in the middle, but it won't come through to him. Ferguson trying to make up ground on it, but now Webb again. Webb, who loves nothing more than to come storming forward into the penalty area. He always comes forward for free kicks and for corners, but he took up a superb position there. But now it's Cook, and Osgood completely free. Number 2 by Peter Osgood. And that really is a heartbreaking start for Rangers. Two goals there in a minute. And Chelsea now 2 up in 7.5 minutes. First by Webb, and then by Osgood. Leach. Clement. And Bridges. It's floating over McCready's head. Bridges. Now what is this? It's a penalty to Queen's Park Rangers, I think. And Venables is a man who rarely misses from the spot. He scored here from the spot last Tuesday night, from that very spot, against Norwich City in the Cup, in the league rather. Now it's Venables against Bonetti in the Cup. And he saved it! Bonetti saves it! Oh, it really is a tragedy there, but in fact the referee now having a word with the linesman. Did Bonetti perhaps move first? He's got to take it again. He's got to take it again. Osgood and Harris don't like it. I would wonder what's going through Venables' mind now. So Venables against Bonetti, part 2. And there it is, 2-1. And still the Chelsea players don't like it. But Venables is happy, so are Rangers, because they are right back in it now. And now to Leach. Leach for Watson, and a good run by him. Can he get it back? Bridges! Oh my goodness! That really was a superb header by Bridges. And McCready was getting a fair bit of stick from his skipper Ronnie Harris for not sticking closer to Bridges. But Bridges moved with such tremendous pace. Hutchinson. Oh, Hollins. With a shot and a good save. He must be it. Osgood! Tremendous shot by Hollins, and Kelly couldn't hold it. And Osgood's second one. And Osgood, who scored in every round of the Cup for Chelsea this season, he's got 2 in this game. Watson. Ferguson. Hazel. And now Hudson. Osgood. Finding Hudson again. A long one, hoping to get Houseman going, and by courtesy of Clement, he is away. Houseman. Oh, good save! And a good interception there by Clement, and there's a fair bit of Pushing and shoving there between Gillard and Hutchinson. Hudson pumping in it again, and the linesman's flag goes up. And Osgood, but the linesman had his flag up. The linesman certainly had his flag up before that was put away. And so now Chelsea put themselves well clear. And a hat-trick, of course, to Peter Osgood. Clement to Bridges. Marsh. So little seen of Rodney Marsh this afternoon, but there's a fair-looking ball there. Bridges, can he turn it in? He can! For a fine goal by Bridges!
Chelsea field their most powerful side, one that promises to be the best in the club's history. And back in that side, after injury, is that determined young striker, Ian Hutchinson. He's missed the last 3 games, but now his physical strength will be an asset. Watford, meanwhile, know how tough it's going to be. They are without skipper Keith Eddy, but they have the skill and spirit that's already beaten Stoke and Liverpool. And, of course, they have Barry Endine, the man who scored the winner against Liverpool, a lively player who'll need watching. Watford are dangerous underdogs, and Chelsea will not underestimate Endine and company. There's a wonderful atmosphere and tension about the place with a crowd of 55,000. Now, for everybody, Wembley is 90 minutes away.
And so it's Watford in their shirts of gold who get this semi-final away. Back to Peter Bonetti. Chelsea in their customary all-blue strip. Wally getting in and robbed by Osgood. And Scullion getting in before Harris. Garbutt. And now Love. Endine with Scullion outside him. And whatever happens today, this surely is the greatest day in the history of Eddie McCreadie. Here he is, the history of Watford Football Club. The first time they've ever got to a semi-final. For so many years, Watford have struggled in the 3rd division. Now they're struggling in the 2nd. And not many people give them very much hope in this semi-final against Chelsea, 3rd from the top of the 1st division. And really, Watford's defence was very slow indeed to get that one away. It's Hudson now for Chelsea. Houseman and Hudson, and this time it's Wellborn taking him from the back, and a corner to Chelsea. Watford in defence, looking very shaky, very unsure of themselves. Chelsea, of course, rampaging through the last part of this season. They've lost only 3 of their last 30 games. Hudson, and Dempsey right up, and it's there by Webb! David Webb! Precisely 2.5 minutes gone. David Webb, who scored the first goal in the last round against Queen's Park Rangers, almost as quickly. Well, they are the Chelsea supporters, and they are delighted, and there is the scoreline. Well, that really makes it tougher still for Watford. Ray Lugg, who was such a hero against Liverpool, my goodness, they're going to look to him now. Duncan Wellborn, the skipper. Remember, they're without their normal skipper, Keith Eddy. Here's Wellborn again. Really losing out on that one. But here's Hollins for Chelsea. Garbutt, Scullion, and Dempsey for Chelsea. Hutchinson, and Webb again, number 2. Well, Ken Murphy centre there. Dave Sexton on the left. Doesn't look as happy as he might be after that early lead. Back at the Lees. And now Mike Walker. Terry Garbutt. Headed by McCready, straight there for Garbutt. Still Garbutt with a shot and a goal by Garbutt. My goodness, what a surprise! With 11 minutes gone. Completely surprised that Chelsea defence, and somehow Bonetti mistimed that dive. 1-1. Now Houseman. Wellborn closing in on him, still Houseman. And a good save by Walker. Well, I know one or two people had question marks against this goalkeeper, but he's done everything for Watford this afternoon. Certainly that was the best break for Chelsea for quite a while. Hutchinson. Hollins, and Lugg is there first, and a free kick given to Watford. Owen to Wally. And McCready. Mike Packer, no, it's gone through instead to Lugg. Endine's gone bursting, or rather Garbutt, here he is, gone bursting on a tremendous 30-yard run. Finding Scullion. The little dipper towards the near post, Endine to flick it on, and Bonetti to gather. Wellborn beaten by the bounce, although in all honesty the pitch hasn't played nearly as badly as a lot of people feared. David Webb, Hutchinson and Williams. Just under a minute to go to half-time, plus a bit of injury time. Hutchinson to try another long throw. Dempsey trying to get under it and flick it on. Wally is there, and then Wellborn. Harris, Houseman, a little too delicate, and Wellborn can get in. Owen. Well, Dave Sexton was saying before this game, the thing that had worried him about Watford was their great togetherness, the fact that they played together as a team for so long. And really it's been a wonderful team effort by Watford in this first half. And nobody can doubt that they more than deserve to be level. Endine and Hudson having a tussle, and the free kick given Chelsea's way. Talk about, there goes in fact the whistle for half-time. David Webb, who put Chelsea ahead so early in the game. And it was Terry Garbutt, there he goes, who scored that surprise equaliser for Watford, going in with manager Ken Furphy to make the half-time score here at White Hart Lane. Chelsea 1, Watford 1. More soccer for you in just a couple of minutes. So Chelsea know just how much they've got to raise their game now to fight their way through to Wembley. 1-1 at half-time, and Watford well deserving to be right in this game. So Chelsea then getting us away for the second half. Owen. Doing a nice little 1-2 there with Garbutt. Quite apart from scoring the goal for Watford, Garbutt really has played such an active part right along that Watford front line. Packer putting it straight into touch, not very happy with himself. Cook, whom we've seen very little so far, with the throw for Chelsea. Cook again. Did well there, Wally, keeping that in. Harris. Hutchinson to try to get Houseman away, and Wellborn is there. Still Wellborn, oh, putting it straight to Osgood. Wally, Packer. And now Lugg, and now Scullion. Trying to switch it there for Owen. Garbutt. Good play by Watford. Someone backing up. Oh, but that's straight for Cook. Oh, Williams trying to take him from the back, but Cook is away. He's got Osgood in the middle. And Hutchinson as well. Oh! Almost in slow motion, it seemed, that save from Walker. Just managed to grab it and hold it at the second go. Garbutt, Packer. Ending chasing, and McCready putting Dempsey into trouble, and then getting out of it, and Harris a little too slack with his clearance, but this time finding Cook. Still this slightly casual air about Chelsea, and Watford are showing so much more urgency about it. Charlie Cook. Cook. And it's Chelsea's throw. Lee McCready. Cook. Packer. Playing it across field for Brian Owen. It's Harris to Webb. Hollins. And Osgood laying it off for Hutchinson. Hutchinson in turn laying it off for Hudson. There's Houseman outside him, Osgood in the middle. And Osgood! Peter Osgood! 2-1 to Chelsea. He scored in every round, Peter Osgood. And now he's kept that record. And he puts Chelsea ahead. Poor Watford, there's the Chelsea crowd. At last, something for them to cheer. Poor Watford, who've done so much and deserve certainly to be level. Are now behind again. Ken Murphy of Watford on the right. And he must be very relieved, Dave Sexton on the left. Hudson. Beautifully measured ball there for Cook. Playing it wide of Williams. Oh, and Hutchinson doing the dummy, and Wally was behind him. Straight to Hudson. And that's Houseman on the volley. Good work by Walker. He caught it well on the volley, though. And Dempsey, a backheader to Bonetti. Hudson. Taken from the back. back. And so a free kick given against Packer of Watford. Looks very much as though Watford are going to bring on a substitute. Brian Garvey, limbering up. Wally getting under it, but only as far as Hudson. Now Cook. Showing one dummy after another, but he's still got two men to get past. Harris. Offside. Desperately trying to attract the referee's attention to bring on Brian Garvey. I wonder if it's Duncan Welborn who took that knock. Well, nobody seems to. In fact, it's Owen who looks. It's Owen who's going off. The number 11, Brian Owen, going off for Watford. So Garvey comes on. Dempsey, nodding it sideways there for Webb. Oh, good ball by Webb to Houseman. Still he goes, and he's got a pretty tough left foot as Houseman. Still he goes on, and a goal by Houseman! 3-1. And that really must be the killer. And it seemed that Peter Houseman aimed to shoot 3 or 4 times and changed his mind. And still the chance was there. And finally he took it. So Peter Houseman makes it 3-1 to Chelsea with just over a quarter of an hour to go. Dempsey, Osgood, Garbutt, Welborn, oh, and Lugg was having a right go at Osgood there, and he's surely got to stop that and have a word with him, and indeed he is. And so it's a free kick to Chelsea. John Hollins to take it. Hutchinson trying to get underneath it, being held down by Welborn. Cook. And Garvey right back to Garbutt. Cook. And again Brian Garvey. Dempsey. Cooley to Hudson. Harris. Hutchinson. Webb. Hudson following up. Cook. Oh, with his left foot. Well covered by Walker. Alan Hudson. Cook. Hudson again. Oh, through his legs. And now to Osgood. Hutchinson. Still Hutchinson. There he goes, number 4. By Hutchinson. So Watford like Queen's Park Rangers and Crystal Palace before them, look like being demolished by this Chelsea side. So often Chelsea seem to save some of their best and most efficient work to the last third of the game. And with those three rather rapid goals, they really must have put this one beyond any doubt now. Harris. Houseman. And Hollins. Wally. Free kick to Watford. It's Wellborn to take the kick. Garbett and Webb away. Wellborn again. Wellborn. And Garbett. Williams. Webb. Osgood, with Lee still sticking faithfully to him. Lug. Oh, beaten by Houseman. Garbett. Wally. Wally. And now McCready. Lug. To Wellborn. Watford still bravely coming forward, but Harris there to stop him this time. And McCready. And Hollins. Oh, the referee getting in the way, and so it's Endy to take it up for Watford. Wally to try one, and Bonetti so assured. Charlie Cook. That one caught on the wind a bit. Hutchinson, Houseman. Hutchinson, oh, a nice little 1-2 there for Houseman. There it is, number 5. Peter Houseman second, Chelsea's 5th. With just 10 minutes to go. Chelsea 5, Watford 1. And Wembley is waiting for them. That was his second goal. Beautiful move there with Hutchinson. Lug. But now it's Chelsea all the way. Packer to Garbett. Harris. Under a minute to go. Hutchinson with a throw that almost sets Houseman away. He scored 2 goals, so he should be fairly happy. Terry Garbutt. Wellborn. And Hutchinson. Osgood. Hutchinson. Played wide for Houseman, Hollins and Cook to converge on it. Hollins. Hutchinson after it. Osgood! There it is for the 6th! No, disallowed! Disallowed! A brilliantly conceived goal, but disallowed, presumably for offside. So 5-1 it stays. And there goes the final whistle. Chelsea are through to Wembley. They got there in 1967 and were beaten by Tottenham. Now they're there again by the handsome margin of 5 goals to 1. Watford, for so long, bravely a force in this game. In the end, demolished by the superior understanding and skills of Chelsea. Number 5, Walter Lees. What a superb game he had against Osgood. But in the end, it's Chelsea.
Here they're without fullback Eddie McCreadie, and Marvin Hinton, that faithful and experienced reserve, comes into a reshuffled defence. But the good news for all Chelsea fans is that back in the attack after a bad chill, Peter Osgood, top scorer with 26 goals. So he faces a Manchester United side with plenty on its mind. Now without Tony Dunn and David Sadler in defence and Brian Kidd in the attack. There's another game for Dennis Law, who played so well in midweek against Burnley. But perhaps the most pleasing sight is the return for Manchester United of Nobby Stiles, bedevilled by a bad knee injury for so long this season. So now Chelsea's biggest crowd of the season waits for referee Maurice Fussy of Nottinghamshire.
So Manchester United in red shirts and white shorts, Chelsea in all blue, get us away. And it doesn't matter whether United are doing well or badly, it just seems that everybody wants to see them. The gates closed here 45 minutes before the kickoff. And they were queuing at 9 o'clock this morning, a queue of 100 yards outside the ground as early as that. And United at the moment, of course, doing well. Unbeaten in their last 18 games. In fact, their last defeat was by Chelsea, 2-0, up at Old Trafford in December. Peter Bonetti. Sartori. And a little lucky to get that one. Now it's Crerand. Stiles. Willie Morgan. Oh, and Webb rather committed himself. Best! Just over. Ghosting in there from outside the penalty area. After Morgan had done well to deceive Webb. Best really on that like a flash. And Bonetti, no doubt, very relieved to see that go across the top of the bar. That's our view from behind the goal, and every vantage point here at Stamford Bridge is a good one this afternoon. John Hollins to Peter Houseman. And now it's Webb. And Ure. John Hollins. Osgood, can he get the better of Ure? Hinton offside. Marvin Hinton, who's come into the side because Eddie McCreadie is out. But he's one of these good reserves that Chelsea have got in store. Marvin Hinton. Hudson. Cook. And now Hollins. Danger of taking that out of play, but the linesman has kept his flag down. And here's Osgood, and here's Hutchinson, and it's a goal by Ian Hutchinson. 14 minutes gone, and it's Hutchinson who puts Chelsea ahead. hot dogs, they're not selling too many of those at the moment. They're too busy watching this. Hollins to pump it back, and he looks as though he must be offside, but there's no whistle. And United are very angry with the referee over that one. They felt that Hutchinson looked clearly offside, but the referee was saying that Sartori was right back on the line, and he was. Just a little bit disorganised for the moment there, Manchester United, and it's another corner then for Chelsea. Again, it's Peter Houseman to take it. Very well taken by Alex Stepney under a good deal of pressure. Ronnie Harris to Peter Houseman. Hutchinson to Osgood, a nice little dummy there from Hutchinson. And now to Cook, and a good ball to him, and he can't keep it in. Francis Burns then with the throw for Manchester United. Ure running well. That was a good piece of play by Ian Ure. Leaving it for Law, and Ure's going on. Still Law. Oh, and he didn't cut it back far enough for Ure. So Hudson. Oh, to Hollins, and a good piece of work by him. Just over! That was a brilliant counter-attack by Chelsea. With Ure out of that defence, it left a gap, and Hollins seized on it. Harris with the throw. Oh, and a good piece of work here by Houseman. Hutchinson closing in. This is aimed towards Hutchinson, and a fine goal by Ian Hutchinson. 2-0. And Hutchinson's second in the game. Styles. Oh, knocked to the ground by Hudson. Play on, says the referee, though. And so it's Creran. Charlton. And Law. And Best. Well, Osgood getting a foot behind him. Morgan. Edwards. Oh, to Best. Best! Well, he was streaking through again, and it was only Peter Bonetti's boot that stopped him. And Webb making his presence felt in that Chelsea defence, getting above Law. Now it's Peter Houseman. And that is the whistle for half-time, with Chelsea 2 goals into the lead, both scored by number 10, Ian Hutchinson. After 14 minutes and after 20 minutes. Charlton looking a little bit worried, and I'm not surprised. John Hollins now for Chelsea. Ure and Osgood. Sartori to Law. And now Bobby Charlton. Pat Creran. Law. Sartori. But losing it out to Hudson, and now it's Cook. Best. And now Creran, a surprising amount of space there. Law calling for it in the centre. And Bobby Charlton almost with his head. Going there towards the near post, and it's not often that Bob gets in with his head. Looks as if it almost stunned him a little bit as well. But he took Chelsea a little bit by surprise there. Couldn't quite screw it back enough. Webb. Houseman. Charlton again. Get the feeling that Bobby Charlton is beginning to assert himself a little bit. But it's Creran with the throw. Law making, Ure making another good break. Finding Sartori. And blocked by Dempsey. Harris to Hutchinson. Sartori to Best. United hopes rise every time Best gets the ball, but now it's Sartori in space. A nice little clip from him, and Best going in. Dempsey miskicking. Morgan trying to turn it back, and Webb getting it away. Still in play. Houseman setting Hollins free. In turn, it's Hudson away. Osgood. Hudson. Now Cook. Ure. Foul given against Houseman. Hustling Ure unfairly. Webb. Cook. And Hudson to Osgood, who gets above Ure, flicks it on, and now it's Cook with Houseman outside him. Here's Houseman. Perhaps another of those little clip ones because Hutchinson's waiting in the middle. A deeper one. And Stepney under great pressure. Hutchinson! A goal is given. And it's a hat-trick for Hutchinson. No, he disallowed it. He disallowed it. He disallowed it. And so it's United breathing away and coming away through Crerand. Burns finding Crerand. That's aimed towards Law. And Benetti's lost it, and Best! Morgan! A goal! By Willie Morgan! So Alex Stepney, no doubt, very relieved about that. And certainly that puts United right back in the game, as you see, with just a quarter of an hour now to go. Law. He tried to turn it to Best, but instead it was Harris. Crerand. Flicked nicely there for George Best. Still Best, past Harris, past Osgood. And now it's Osgood. Cook, beautiful play by Chelsea. Hudson now on the left. Cook playing a nice 1-2 there with Hudson. The linesman flag is up. The linesman's flag is up. Disallowed. It's the third time in the second half that Chelsea have had that ball in the net. All of them disallowed. Law wanting it in the air. Charlton to flick it on. Harris. And Webb only putting it as far as Best. Hutchinson getting his head to it. Crerand to Styles. Every man bar Stepney now in the Chelsea half of the field. Law going up. Sartori fastening on very quickly. And flicked away into touch by Harris. Chelsea under a good deal of pressure now. United coming storming back. Edwards with the throw. Hutchinson, and now Cook. And now Hudson on the break. To Cook. Cook going past Morgan as though he didn't exist. Played inside there for Hudson. And Burns, Chelsea claiming that he handled it. But it's Bobby Charlton. Crerand. Nice little build-up here by United to Burns. Best. Trying to play a 1-2 with Law. Best! On with his head! Oh, just over! Beautiful build-up there by Manchester United, and superb skills in the end by Best. But he couldn't keep it down. Hutchinson. Hutchinson, in fact, going to try a longish throw. No, in fact, he tries a shorter one. Houseman to Hudson. Hollins flicking it in, or trying to flick it for Hollins as the final whistle goes. Ian Hutchinson, who scored both those Chelsea goals in the first 20 minutes of the game, and Willie Morgan, who pulled one back for Manchester United with 15 minutes to go.
Match that catches Chelsea with one eye on next week, and Spurs with both fixed on building for next season. For Chelsea, there's been an uncomfortable run of injuries. Apart from Hudson, Harrison and Hutchinson are also missing from this team. But Chelsea are renowned for their reserves, and one who comes in today after a season of injury is Alan Birchinall, a big, strong striker. He, Hinton and Baldwin will all be looking for a chance to force their way into the Wembley team. As for the Spurs, their recent form has been promising, and their team shows Kinnear and Knowles again as a full-back partnership, and a lot of strength in midfield. Here, of course, a lot of it is down to their new star Martin Peters. He should work well with Mullery and Perryman. Now referee Kevin Howley is ready for the kick-off.
So Kevin Howley gets the game away. Spurs all in white kicking off, defending the goal to our right. Chelsea just this week away from Wembley, anxious no doubt to make a good impression, to keep their morale high, but doubly anxious not to get anyone injured. Here's Osgood, 28 goals this season, to Cook, and Birchinall's gone into the middle, but Philip Beale back in the Tottenham side, finding Joe Kinnear. Spurs, who've had such a patchy season but a very good record against London clubs. They've been away to 3 London First Division clubs. They've won them all. 2-0 at Crystal Palace, 1-0 at West Ham, 3-2 at Arsenal, and no doubt very anxious to make it number 4 this afternoon. John Hollins now to David Webb. Chelsea all in blue. Baldwin and Houseman going at tackle from Mullery, taking it away from Houseman, so it's Gilzean and Dempsey covering at the back for Chelsea. Hollins, Chelsea's player of the year. But Peters beating him and finding Mullery. Hinton a little lucky to get that return pass there from Hollins, but now Knowles to Mullery. The teams drew 1-1 at White Hart Lane earlier this season. Gilzean losing it to skipper for the day with Ronnie Harris injured, Eddie McCready. Houseman with an unfamiliar number 8 on his back. Gilzean, Kinnear, Beale, and a throw to Tottenham. Alan Mullery to take it. And Mullery again. Houseman beating Perryman beautifully there. Good run there by Houseman. But the pitch has taken a lot of water in the last 24 hours, and that really skidded far too far ahead of Osgood. Here's Pat Jennings. McCready. And now Mullery. To the Chelsea goalkeeper, Peter Bonetti. Webb to Beale. And Mullery finding Chivers. What a difference the arrival of Peters must have made to Mullery, taking so much weight off him in midfield. And here is Martin Peters. Gilzean, good work by Tottenham. Gilzean with a shot, and a beautiful save by Bonetti from Alan Gilzean. Curling just inside that post, and Bonetti was down on it like a flash. Peter Bonetti, who made his first appearance for Chelsea 10 years ago this weekend. And what a glorious 10 years it's been for Peter. But a corner then to Tottenham, and Alan Mullery to take it. And Mike England has gone roaming to the edge of that Chelsea penalty area. This will go towards England, getting up well with a header, and Bonetti. Peter Houseman to David Webb, who in fact scored at White Hart Lane in that 1-1 draw. Webb, the fullback, throw now to Chelsea, and in fact it's David Webb to take it. Johnny Hollins with a throw for Chelsea. Tommy Baldwin to Birchinall. And Kinnear and Knowles, or rather Jennings, and it's Jennings who gathers it. Beale. Peters trying to spray it wide there towards Gilzean. But McCready, Birchinall well up, Osgood well there, Birchinall again. And so many Spurs players are back, but now Baldwin with a shot, and a goal by Tommy Baldwin! Just on 5 minutes gone, some beautiful work in the air by Osgood, and Birchinall, who is such a fine header of the ball, and Baldwin tucking it home. Only his 6th goal of the season, Tommy Baldwin, coming after just 5 minutes. Now Morgan to Mallory, a swift 1-2 there to try and get Chivers a little bit of space, but now it's McCready. And I wouldn't mind betting that Chelsea would swap a goal after 5 minutes this afternoon for one after 5 minutes next week at Wembley. But a very good start for Chelsea. Mallory looking for Morgan. Morgan's getting inside Webb, but Baldwin right back to tidy up and to find his goalkeeper, Peter Bonetti. Free kick given against Birchinall for backing into England. Morgan, Gilzean, Houseman. Interesting to see Houseman playing so deep for Chelsea. One normally expects to see him so much along the wings. And a throw given to Tottenham. And Chivers to take it. Gilzean, Mallory, with the sun coming out again. Perryman, Mallory, and now Gilzean. A lot of Chelsea players back. In fact, only Birchinall is forward, and now Birchinall's coming back as well, so there's so little room for Tottenham. But Gilzean trying to find Peters, and now Peters through, and Dempsey doing probably the right thing. He could be sure of giving away the corner, but he couldn't be sure that Bonetti would get there before Peters, who was darting through. And so it's a corner to Tottenham. Again, England has gone up. And Roger Morgan to take it. Perryman, in fact. And Perryman again. And England and Peters right in there. Baldwin, Hinton. And Knowles. But that's Cook with good control. Still Cook. Birchinall. Houseman. Osgood. Beautiful understanding again by Chelsea. Cook to Webb. Peters in very hard, and Baldwin going down, but now it's Houseman again, this time to Hollins. Chance for him to float a long one, and Birchinall's in the middle looking for it. And here is Birchinall on the turn and straight into the arms of Jennings. That was a good shot there by Birchinall as he was losing his balance.
Kinnear to Gilzean. Now Hinton. Nice little flick there for Cook. And now Hollins. And a good piece of covering there by Steve Perryman. That really was a good piece of defence by Perryman, only 17 years old, but what a future this fella's got. But it's Hollins who is capable of quite a long throw with the throw for Chelsea. And Peters getting ahead to it. Hollins driving in. Peters well there, challenged by Birchinall. Now Hollins again. And good work there by Jennings to push it out. The fact that he got a hand to it was good, but it almost was at the feet of Webb. McCready. Flick on by Osgood, and a flick away by Chivers. Roger Morgan. Houseman steaming back. Hollins, you see, steaming back as well. Dempsey there watching closely. And Peters up in support. Creedy, but straight to Perryman. For his skipper Mullery. Perryman again. Taking on Webb, and Webb sticking out the foot at precisely the right moment. So it's Beale and Bonetti with that ball bouncing awkwardly just a foot or so in front of him on that skidding surface. From Beale. Osgood with Birchinall going on ahead of him. Houseman streaking through the middle. Cook taking over. Hollins with McCready. Beating Mullery so well there, McCready. Hard and low, and not coming through to a blue shirt. To Cyril Knowles. Morgan. Played nicely for Gilzean. Mullery with Kinnear outside him. Still Joe Kinnear, and a free kick to Tottenham. England on the far side of the penalty area. Peters and Hinton going in. Hinton to give away the corner to Tottenham. One of his strong band of Chelsea reserves, Hinton, and Birchinall number 10 is another one, of course. No First Division side really can claim to have a stronger first team pool than Chelsea have got. But here's Mullery with the corner for Spurs. Aimed towards England. Hollins to nod it away, using all those neck muscles. And a throw to Tottenham. Cyril Knowles. Beale. And Hinton losing it out to Peters. Still Peters. Took a couple of challenges there, Mullery. Chivers to take the throw. And a good long one there, in fact, by Chivers. Perryman. Morgan. Still Morgan. And he couldn't quite turn on it as he drew his foot back, so Cook was in to take it away. Morgan again. This time to Knowles. Chivers aiming to get underneath it, and so too is Dempsey, falling now for Peters. And now Houseman to Birchinall. Peters and Mullery doing a lot of good work for Tottenham on the edge of that Chelsea penalty area now. Cook, Hollins, and Hinton. Peters.
Trying a 1-2 there, which almost came off. Hollins spotting it, and this time Hollins giving away the corner. And certainly Spurs are putting a lot of pressure on Chelsea now. Mallory and Peters doing a lot of good work. Perryman working all the way. And Gilzean with those flicks of his, often threatening to open up the way. Perryman with the corner. Gilzean with under those flicks. And McCready in two minds as to whether belt it clear or let it go. Decides to let it go, and it's a goal kick then to Chelsea. Eddie McCready, the skipper, in place of Ron Harris, who has this troublesome hamstring. Mike England to Peters. Chivers. Knowles. Peters again. They've made no ground, Spurs. All they've done is find 5 or 6 extra Chelsea defenders are back. But here's Mallory. Gilzean, a nice little flick to Morgan. Can he turn it across? They really should have done more with that one, Tottenham. And now it's Birchinall. Just Birchinall and Osgood up. Hollins coming through fast. Birchinall, in fact, falling very dramatically after he'd been checked by England. But it's a free kick to Chelsea. And it's going to be Hollins to take it. And for this one, both Webb and Dempsey have come right forward. Hollins saying that Perryman's not 10 yards away. The referee agreeing, and Perryman's got to go back a yard. Hollins then. Dempsey getting ahead to it. Birchinall hoping to turn it. He's a good, strong running player, Birchinall, and always very dangerous, but he's really had a most disappointing season with injuries. It was only 5 weeks ago that he had 12 stitches in a leg wound against Newcastle. Martin Peters. I can't think why this first half has dragged into nearly 3 minutes of injury time, because there hasn't been any injury time. Well, there hasn't been any injuries, but there in fact goes the whistle for half-time. And a good first half filled with good attacking football and fairly adventurous football too. Tommy Baldwin, number 7, with that goal for Chelsea. There he is, after only 5 minutes play, putting them ahead. Still to come on the big match programme, highlights of the second division game between Blackpool and Queen's Park Rangers, and the final 6 in our Golden Goals competition. The half-time score at Stamford Bridge: Chelsea 1, Spurs 0. More soccer action for you in just a couple of minutes. So Chelsea will be hoping to keep this lead in the second half as they get us underway again, and of course steer clear of injury with Wembley so much in their minds. England finding Peters, who had such a fine first half. He really does seem to be blossoming now with Mallory in support and Perryman as well. Spurs looking very strong in midfield, coming forward, and here's Chivers to Peters. But a poor one by Peters, who's getting a fair bit of stick from Knowles. I think Peters expected Knowles to gallop after that one, but it's a goal kick then to Chelsea. He's obviously had a tremendous influence already, Peters, on this Tottenham side. Peter Bonetti. Osgood trying to set Birchinall away. Baldwin and Houseman breaking superbly. Peter Houseman. Oh, and he missed it. He bested, and although tremendous credit there for Jennings, who came out very swiftly indeed to challenge, to make his job more difficult. Birchinall, but it's Mullery. Gilzean, another little flick, this time for Kinnear, but Cook finding McCready, and McCready feeding a poor one there towards Cook, and so it's Philip Beale now for Tottenham. To Knowles, Chivers, to Peters, and a good shot there by Peters, a nice little flick on by Gilzean. But Peters hitting it straight at Bonetti. Looks like he took a bit of a knock as well. Peter Osgood. And the throw given to Tottenham. Gilzean. To Peters. Mullery. Spurs with fresh heart after that shot by Peters. Perryman. The game really has gone off the boil a little bit after that first half, though. Morgan just keeping it in. And now Knowles. Chivers to Peters, a nice little flick there for Knowles. Mullery trying to go wide on the right. But Webb, the winner there, finding Tommy Baldwin. Hollins played almost beautifully there, but equally well stopped by Philip Beale. Peters to Chivers. Peters going on. Baldwin. Mullery. Ball that almost found Gilzean, but Dempsey was there first. Now it's Peters to Mullery again. I'm sure Dave Sexton there in his crow's nest on the left. Dave Sexton would dearly love to see another Chelsea goal to put him out of his agony. And the linesman's flag was up. Every Chelsea player had gone forward, and poor Alan Birchinall finding himself offside when he's only some 5 yards inside the Tottenham half. All right, give or take a yard, perhaps 7 yards then. Mike England. Oh, Mullery! Oh, and flicked away brilliantly at the very last by Hinton. There was a brave little break by Mullery, almost catching everybody out, but that was a superb piece of defensive covering, though, by Marvin Hinton. There's Hinton. What a good reserve he is. Mullery with a long and a deep corner. England getting up to put it back in again. Gilzean looking to get up again, and McCready to belt it away to Birchinall. To Cook. Going past both Perryman and Kinnear. Cook away. Birchinall outside him. Aimed beautifully, placed beautifully for Birchinall, with a shot across the goal, which neither Houseman nor Hollins could possibly hope to get. But a good break by Chelsea nonetheless. Beautiful pass from Cook. Measured to the inch for Birchinall. To Mullery. To Cyril Knowles. Again Gilzean calling for a high one at the far post. And that's going towards him. Peters trying to get under it as well. And did well to get his head to it. Charlie Cook to Marvin Hinton. Oh, let that show just a little too much of that to Alan Mullery. Now it's Chivers with a shot just past the post. Into that side netting from Chivers. Chelsea defence well back on its heels there.
They're not ready for that very swift counter-attack. And perhaps Chelsea just a little lucky to survive. There's Bonetti from behind his goal. Morgan. Spurs coming into it much more now and also looking much more dangerous. And here's the chance. Gilzean, but offside is given. Offside given against Alan Gilzean. And so it's no goal. Peters to Morgan. Spurs have had so much of this game, but that's only in the last few minutes that they've begun to look really dangerous, and there's Morgan. Just a little too high. Well, if Spurs are going to do anything, they've got to do it quickly now, with under 10 minutes left. Webb, and now Peters. Chivers to Peters with a long shot, and almost over the line. Was it over the line or wasn't it? No, says the referee. But that really was touch and go. Bonetti unfortunately shielding the ball from our cameras with his body, but the linesman was directly in line. England to Kinnear. And now Gilzean to Chivers. Peters well up as well. Still Chivers, but so many blue shirts are now back. Here's Perryman. Morgan, Peters, Chivers, so tight, little room, and Bonetti again getting behind it. And a Chelsea player down on the deck in a good deal of pain, and Osgood nodding it into touch. From that view, it's hard to say who it is. But when the number shows, you can see it's Eddie McCreadie. Well, that must be a relief for Chelsea fans to see that McCreadie is all right again. McCreadie has now tucked that medallion inside his shirt. I'm sure the referee would have asked him to have done in any case, because it could be some sort of danger for men when you're going high for a ball. And now Knowles. A long and a high one. Gilzean to try and get underneath it, and these really must be the last attempts now for Tottenham to pull its goal back. As we're in injury time already. Peters, Perryman, and the whistle has gone before anyone could do anything about it, and so it's a victory for Chelsea by a goal to nil, scored so early in the game by Tommy Baldwin. Spurs having put on so much pressure in that second half. So the final score at Stamford Bridge is Chelsea 1, Spurs. Chelsea in bright red tracksuit tops and Leeds in light blue. And what a tremendous welcome for them. Two of the greatest sides in modern British football, deserving every cheer that they get. There are the two skippers, Ron Harris and Billy Bremner. Billy Bremner, Footballer of the Year. There's the Chelsea side then. without Alan Hudson. It means that Tommy Baldwin comes in at 7. And a slight shuffling there, which takes Charlie Cook wearing the number 11 shirt. It'll mean that Houseman at number 8 will be playing not on the wing as we often see him, but as a very effective midfield player. And Leeds United, with Norman Hunter happily restored to the number 6 shirt, having missed the last 8 games with an injury, a knee injury. Leeds then, apart from Paul Madeley, are at full strength with, apart from Paul Reaney rather, are at full strength with Paul Madeley. And so the final of 1970 is underway. Jack Charlton. And this is McCready. Thought for a moment about putting it back to Bonetti, but Jones was advancing too quickly with the free kick. Jack Charlton's gone right up for it as well, and Osgood's gone back with him. Lorimer with a shot. And now, and Clark at the far side, Jones at the far side, Bonetti, perfect handling. And a good long throw. But Osgood finding that Charlton is with him, clearly Leeds have designated big Jack Charlton there to keep the closest possible watch on Osgood. And in fact the free kick is given to Leeds, lifted into that Chelsea penalty area. Charlton has gone right up. Jack Charlton trying to get underneath it, but it's McCready, now it's Madeley to put it back in again. Clark offside. Oh, beautiful work by Bonetti, but the linesman's flag was up on the far side. Bonetti wasn't to know from that header by Clark. Cook losing that challenge to Madeley. Madeley finding Lorimer with a shot. Oh, good work there by Bonetti. On, the linesman kept his flag down. Baldwin going in for one of those near post crosses, and beautiful work there by Madeley. It needed to be good. To Lorimer. A long one that Jones will go for. Dempsey's underneath it as well. Finally, it just flicks off the top of Dempsey's head, enough to give Leeds United the corner. Jackie Charlton up on that goal line again. And Eddie Gray with the corner. Bremner right up too. The same towards Jack Charlton. Kick. No, it's a goal! Jack Charlton in fact got ahead to it. And a Chelsea player, John Hollins I think it was, missed the ball on the goal line. And it couldn't have gone more than a yard over the line. This is Cook. Houseman calling for the ball, but the ball goes through in fact to John Hollins, floating it towards Hutchinson, gets ahead to it, to Osgood with a shot! No, off the line by Jack Charlton! At one end it went in from a similar sort of situation, and from the other end it was hooked off by Jack Charlton. And that is the closest that Chelsea have been to a goal this afternoon. Well, he did very well there, Jack Charlton. He scored the goal for Leeds so far, and he saved the equaliser for them just that moment ago. Hollins, now Osgood, finding Cook. Baldwin is waiting there in the middle. Still Cook, with all the skills and not quite the power. McCready. Hutchinson trying to flick it, backhead it. It's gone to Houseman with a shot, and a goal! Oh, a terrible mistake there by Sprague! And Houseman has scored the softest of equalisers. Mick Jones falls to his knees in despair. 1-1. What a tragedy for Sprague. Ian Hutchinson, who will get the game away. And now it's Hollins. Hunter right back and Baldwin going on, and Cooper getting it away for Leeds. To Jones, sends to Baldwin again, first time to Osgood. And now to Hutchinson. Still Hutchinson. Oh, and he almost turned that pass, and he might still do it. Baldwin trying it on the volley. Houseman again.
Bremner taking him, still Houseman, finding Hutchinson. Oh, good work by Sprague. Oh, it's good, off the line. Oh, what tremendous excitement. Wonderful covering by Leeds United and disappointment on the Chelsea bench. Cook is going outside and that gives Houseman just a little bit of room there. Baldwin trying to flick it on, almost getting it in. Sprague very late indeed going on that one. That's so very nearly crept in. Stop there without any doubt. Oh, Harris and Bremner getting into a tangle there, but Clark bringing it away. The referee deciding that the play should go on. Dempsey, but only as far as Giles. And now to Gray, the real scourge of Chelsea, and against the crossbar! And they didn't even get a corner for it. What a tremendous afternoon this man's having. There's a good run here by Giles as well, got it in first time towards Clark, against the post! How unlucky can you get? Jones, a goal! Mick Jones, 2-1! And Sprague is jumping for joy at the other end as well. Charlton, and the free kick is given for Charlton obstructing Osgood. Yes, Don Revie looking at that watch. Every minute seeming like an hour to him, I would think. Hollins to curl it in again. Hutchinson! A goal by Ian Hutchinson! And Leeds United prostrate on the deck. Lorimer is down. Bremner is down. Jones is down. Osgood with Houseman outside him. That's for Houseman. Hutchinson in the middle again. Hutchinson going in and almost turning it past Sprague. What a really remarkable comeback now by Chelsea. And there goes the whistle for the end of the 90 minutes. A test of muscle and nerve from now on. Giles for Leeds United. Good cross there by McCready. And now Dempsey, just over! What a lovely little flick back though by Hutchinson for Dempsey, and he took it well, and Sprague took it even better. Jones is up with him. And now Clark. This is coming to the tormenting Gray. Hinton trying to force him on the outside, and Houseman. But he got it back well. Giles, all over the bar by Webb. What a saviour for Chelsea David Webb was there. What a terrible afternoon he's had against Eddie Gray. But Webb really did everything for Chelsea in that moment. Wembley, of course, which has always been such a punishing pitch. Oh, Webb missing that badly. And now Giles, Webb trying to correct it. And now it's Jones. And Dempsey getting it away. But now Clark to Gray. Lorimer at the far side, heading it back in. Clark! Oh, against the crossbar! That's twice they've had it against the crossbar. Bremner. Lorimer again. Been curling some good ones across, but McCready getting there first this time, and McCready down injured. Houseman outside him, a promising looking situation this for Chelsea to Houseman now. The little chip from Houseman. Osgood going in at far side, just past. Where Chelsea are so devastating with those little chips from Houseman, and he varies them so well. Sometimes those ones to the near, Osgood now turning the first aid man, sometimes towards that near post, which if a Chelsea man gets there first are unstoppable. and sometimes like that one towards the far post. McCready coming desperately across to cover, but Madeley now tearing it across there. Jones trying to leap again, and Bonetti just under that bar. From Leeds, Hutchinson, Houseman and Baldwin in the middle. That's going towards Baldwin. Hollins calling for it at the back. Houseman. Oh, great save by Sprigg. That's how it stands with about 3 minutes of extra time to go. And there goes the whistle for the end of extra time, and for the first time since 1912 the FA Cup needs a replay. The first time since it came to Wembley it needs a replay. Man of the match for my money, Eddie Gray, this brilliant number 11 for Leeds United.
Jack Charlton, not the last out for Leeds United, the substitute behind him. So Chelsea raked to the left. And that is the Chelsea team still wearing their tracksuits. There is the team, one positional change from the Wembley game. It's a significant one. Harris, number 2, to Mark Gray. Now young Alan Hudson, hoping to clinch a cup medal in his first glorious season, just couldn't make it. The team has a 4-3-3 look about it, with Baldwin, Osgood and Hutchinson up front, Hollins, Houseman and Cook looking after the midfield. Leeds have had their scares, and Sprigg, injured against Celtic, hasn't made it. David Harvey comes in for his second FA Cup tie. Leeds too will be operating 4-3-3 with Jones, Clark and Lorimer doing the striking. Bremner, Giles and Gray, the midfielder. Now this will be a battle of two great teams, but there'll also be some intriguing personal battles. Eddie Gray, the man of the match at Wembley, and his wizardry could work once again. David Webb, he'll be a centre-back this time, with Harris taking Gray. Jack Charlton, on his brother's home ground, will want to keep Osgood quiet once again as he did at Wembley. Peter Osgood knows he was reduced to an anonymous role at Wembley and means to prevent a repeat performance. Peter Bonetti, one of the great goalkeepers, not only in England but in the world. So the two captains have tossed up. The referee, Mr. Eric Jennings of Starbridge, his two linesmen, Bob Mathewson of Littlehalton near Bolton, a former professional player, and Mr. J.H. Jackson of Huntingdon. The wind is blowing strongly from left to right. So, Mick Jones, the pair of feet, right in the middle. Giles, number 10, and it's Leeds will kick off. Hunter. Harris. Charlton sensibly using the wind. Harvey's first feel of the ball. His first feel of the ball in the European Cup semi-final was when he picked it out of the net. He came on as a substitute. Lorimer. Clark. Lorimer. Oh, and almost an own goal by Dempsey. The luck went with him then. Throw to Leeds. Bremner. Lorimer. Number 7, Baldwin. And Cooper, as majestic as he was at Wembley. Gray. Bremner. Gray. Foul. Gray was brought down. Eddie Gray was stripped by Webb. So once again, Gray is torturing Webb. Baldwin's number 7, Osgood. And Bremner for Leeds. And Bremner tripped. Lorimer. Clark back to Bremner. A foul. Bremner foul by Houseman. There's Houseman wearing number 11. Houseman wearing his number 11 and not the number 8, as everybody expected. Free kick to Leeds. Jones. Hollins. And Cooper up with the attack. Oh, the Chelsea defence rather. That's Cooper who put that ball across so beautifully. He's a great overlapping back. A Cook. Hollins. McCready finding Cook. McCready. Harris. Osgood. Osgood, I think, thought he had his ankles tapped then as he tried to worm his way through, but it was quite accidental. Clark didn't get high enough for that one. He jumped badly. Now Cooper always ready to snatch up this loose ball. Oh, and it's a Lorimer. And not a soul there. Clark. Lorimer. He might have done better if he'd gone down and headed it. And Chelsea were in terrible trouble then. Peter Lorimer. Hutchinson pushing down Cooper. Free kick to Leeds. Giles. This is Gray. Jones, oh, what a great save by Bonetti. Oh, tremendous save by Bonetti. And as Gray pulls this in, watch the flick, and then the great save. A tremendous effort, reflex effort by Peter Bonetti. A Hunter. Giles to Bremner. Clark. Oh, an inch away, no more. And Alan Clark, he took that onto his left foot, was only an inch away from the post. Bonetti stranded. Well, the Chelsea fans now, no wonder they're looking a wee bit apprehensive, because Chelsea in real trouble, I would think. Hutchinson determined for that one. Now, Houseman. Cook. And oh, Charlton putting his goalkeeper in terrible trouble. Charlton must have taken leave of his senses then. Charlton kicked the ball out of his own goalkeeper's hands after waiting for the goalkeeper to take the ball. And now it's a free kick to Leeds. Almost incessant Leeds pressure. Bremner with the throw for them. Madeley. Jones. And Bonetti is hurt. And Mick Jones saying, I went for the ball, but the referee is telling him to be a wee bit careful. Benetti couldn't get across to that even if been fit. Great tragedy for Peter Benetti. But I doubt whether he'd have got it, so the Leeds fans can really go to town. And Jones has scored the important first goal. Jones back to Cooper. Webb to Jones, to Gray. Gray brought down by Harris, and Harris has caught him behind that left knee. Harris acknowledging what he did. And Alan Clark not liking it, dropping like a badminton shuttlecock. Webb. Hunter. And the whistle goes for half-time. Leeds United in the lead by 1-0. The scorer, Mick Jones. There's Mick Jones, signed for £100,000 from Sheffield United. Scored the goal just after Peter Benetti had been injured in a collision with him. Chelsea kick off for the second half. Now, Hollins. Chelsea now are facing the strong wind. Number 3, Cooper. Clark. Giles has got through so much work. Good tackle by McCready. Hunter. A Cook. Cooper. And Cooper showing where he got the Harris's studs. It's Osgood. Charlton. Oh, Charlton right at Osgood. And Osgood went into Charlton. And there could be trouble now for somebody. Now there's Bob Matthewson, the linesman, an ex-professional player himself. So, and Cooper's got all his trousers ripped. There's Cooper getting new pair of pants. But let's see what happens to the referee. And Charlton and Osgood have got away with it. Houseman. Osgood getting up well to that one to Cook. And Charlton. Charlton brought down from behind by Cook. And Charlton giving Clark a bit of stick for not moving forward. Osgood, Hutchinson and Webb all up there. And it's a corner kick. It's a throw-in, and that's as good as a corner kick when Hutchinson's going to take it. The second time we've seen the long throw near to the goal line. Houseman for Hutchinson too. Cook. 10 minutes of the second half gone. Leeds in the lead, 1-0. Hollins to Hutchinson. And now then, Clark's got a great chance. Jones racing up in support. What a great tackle by Webb. The Hunter. Gray back to Cooper. Leeds got much more drive. And Cooper kept it in. Giles. It's a corner. It was deflected. Johnny Giles really hit it. And as that one came across, miracle it was kept in, and Giles raced onto it, hit it, and it must have hit Dempsey and just scraped past the post. Decided that was his ball and went for it. Number 4, Hollins. Osgood. Baldwin. That's the first time that Chelsea have come close to a goal. Hunter. And McCready. Doesn't hit him too hard against Bonetti. The Bonetti state. Eddie McCready, number 3. Ooh, Madeley didn't quite get to that one. Osgood. That's Cook who suddenly sprinted away. And Osgood and Bremner. And, oh, Hutchinson right into Bremner. There was no excuse for that. And he must be booked. And that's Bremner who got it in the knee, but really Hutchinson asked for trouble. Houseman. To Hutchinson. Well, almost everybody's getting the stick from the crowd one way or another. Hollins, but here's Cooper. Oh, save from Bonetti. Oh, 10 out of 10. Lorimer with the throw for Leeds. Clark. Oh, Baldwin in trouble. Now it's Cooper. And a great save again by Bonetti from Cooper. And Cooper snapping up that mistake by Baldwin. Bonetti covering the near post and brilliantly turning it round the post. Quite a bit subdued at the moment. Harris. Finding Baldwin now. Hollins again. Osgood. Now Hutchinson. Cook. And Osgood. Oh! Brilliantly scored by Osgood. Ran beautifully off the ball. And Charlie Cook, the man who made it, slugging the ball brilliantly. Osgood running on the blind side of the defence, lining the ball with his head, sending the goalkeeper the wrong way. One each. So Osgood has equalised, and the Chelsea fans have suddenly erupted. They've been rather subdued. So 1 goal each. And Clark, he volleyed that ball beautifully to Gray. Clark. Giles hanging back in space. This is Giles. Hunter to Cooper. He's looked a danger man all the match, this fellow. Jones has Bremner there. Oh, he's taken the right in his face. McCready's face. McCready's feet in Bremner's face. And Harris. McCready sporting his back, helping Bremner, but it's Osgood. Osgood got Hutchinson on his right. Here's Hutchinson. It's the side netting. And the trainer comes on to Bremner. And the Leeds players are saying, surely that must have been dangerous play because McCready was in full flight. McCready is there helping Bremner. And Bremner must be wondering what hit him. Cooper having as great a game as he did at Wembley. Now Bremner. He's fouled. And Bremner letting his temper get the better of him. Oh, and Hutchinson's asking for trouble. Charlton. To Giles. To Cooper. Dempsey. Bremner to Giles. And Cook tackling like a demon. We don't expect that of him. And now it's Houseman. And Madeley coming up like an Olympic sprinter. Into Osgood. And Bremner now back in defence. To Giles. What a match this has been. Lorimer. In goes Jones! Oh, we'd only got an inch higher. It would have been the winner. What a sensation. Well, this game owes nothing to the Wembley final. It's just been a continuation of it. Goal kick to Chelsea. And the whistle goes for the end of the FA Cup final replay. 1 goal each. And it's another half hour. Leeds to kick off. 1 goal each. And Madeley. Once again, it's a test of stamina as well as skill. Cook. Cook inside the Baldwin. To Osgood, number 9. Collins. That's too much for Hutchinson. Ray, Bremner, Cooper. Well, not much doubt about that foul by Baldwin on Cooper. Not a nice position in which to concede a free kick, especially not at such a vital time. 5 minutes before half-time in extra time. Giles, oh, it's curling away from the goal, a beautiful one. Lorimer. Oh, Benetti's still a world-class goalkeeper. If he can take one from Lorimer. Great save by Benetti. To see this as a sign that they're getting on top. If a man like Norman Hunter's going down, now they're trying to lift their team. Osgood just having a rest. 1 or 2 of the players are sitting down. But up they've got to get. Throw to Chelsea. Hutchinson building up the position for one of his famous long ones near to the penalty box, and up goes Dempsey and Webb as Hutchinson prepares to take the throw. And then from is a goal! Yes, a goal! Webb! Webb has scored. What a throw that was. And just look at it. It's a free kick, not a throw. And a backheader from Charlton, and there's Webb, number 6, getting up to it. So, David Webb has sent the Chelsea fans wild. Free kick to Leeds. And Don Revie looking very, very perturbed now. Gray. Giles. Gray. Charlton has moved up into the penalty area. Well, Gray can't beat them all. Cooper. Charlton. Benetti playing the game of his life despite his injuries. Osgood. Houseman, it's 3 against 2 at the moment. And offside. Offside. Well offside by a mile. And Hutchinson can't really expect a goal for that. Wondering what else they can do now. This is Gray. Man of the match at Wembley, Bremner. And Johnny Giles. Throw. And Osgood going off. Osgood goes off. Osgood's gone off. And Hinton has gone off. So, Chelsea have traded an attacker for a defender. And on the goal line, 9 Leeds men in the Chelsea penalty box. Gray, oh, and it's off the line. Played off the line by McCready. Well, you're bound to get that in these situations. Leeds piling on everything now, desperate for the equaliser. Charlton. And it's Cook. And they've left Houseman unmarked. This is Houseman. Houseman now to Hollins. A quick break by Chelsea. Hinton to Cook. Cook, the sort of man who can retain possession. To McCready. Up comes Harris. Right. Norman Hunter. So just 5 minutes to go before the end. And Leeds United are 2-1 down after being a goal up. That's Cooper. Chelsea retreating to pack their penalty area. Gray. Obstruction. So another desperate situation. Charlton to Clark, to Giles. That's a desperate up and under. Gray. Oh, he should have taken his time on that one. It could be the last chance. The 15 minutes are up by our watch. It's injury time now between Chelsea and the Cup. And what an epic, memorable Cup final this has been. A great game at Wembley, a great game here. Chelsea coming from behind to win. Chelsea have won it. Chelsea have won it. And there's Webb getting mobbed, the scorer of the winning goal. And they're the Chelsea fans. The victorious Chelsea team. Full marks to a side that can come from behind and win. Especially against Leeds. All recriminations forgotten. The players swap shirts. The crowd cheer. And Ronnie Harris, who knows what it is to be a loser in a cup final, will now go up to receive the cup. There's Peter Osgood scored the first goal. The Leeds team have to come off the pitch. Billy Bremner in the background. There's Ron Harris being led up to receive the trophy from the chairman of the Football Association, Dr. Stephen. So, and Ron Harris, the brave Peter Benetti. Johnny Hollins.